the Philly alert! Tonight, Jalen Carter got the bag. And we definitely going to talk about what we want to see in this year's training camp and show you a little, behind the scene footage of some of your favorite Eagles players putting on the pass today. But first, let's listen to what they're talking about when they talk about our boy, Jalen Carter.
Maybe an extension was obvious for Philly for Jalen Carter, but you think it's a good move to lock him up long term?
Oh, big time. I mean, he's been one of the best defensive tackles in football. And when the fact that they've got Carter locked up now, and you look at least on paper, this defense, you're going, this is one of the most talented and youngest defenses in football. And if you look at their schedule, it's the opportunity early. You see the number ranking on the right. That's their offensive lines, okay? So early for this defensive line that now has Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter locked up. They traded for Grenard. They've got Ojomo, still Nolan Smith, to really dominate football games. And then there's a stretch near where that Rams and Bears schedule, you're going to play against really good offensive lines. And so I think this has the chance to be once again a top 5 defense. And you're talking about a defensive line that could resemble the one that we saw in 2024 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and they dominated people up front.
Social on the lead. I'm a gorilla in a fucking scoop. Finna pull up to the zoo, nigga. Oh, nigga, who the fuck is you? I don't know, nigga. No, nigga. Pull up on your blocks. We gon' blow, nigga. Go, nigga. Run, nigga. Run for the pole, nigga. Hey, please. Gas what I smoke, nigga. Smoke. Feds in my dough. Jump out the window, nigga. No, you can't get no money, silly hoe. Silly hoe. I just hit a stain, funny dough. Hey, funny dope. Talking out his neck. Pistol.
Let's go. And it's looking bright. Not used to the light, I was born at night, but I'm used to a fight, not a new sight. Left, right, hair, body, roll the dice. No regrets when I finally leave. I'll finally be the final, be a better me. My destiny is to invest in me, a quest to be the best, yeah, legend free. From a world that's been so wounded, I got dreams and they feel so lucid. I got dreams that they think are stupid. It's alright, sit back cause I do this. I don't take this life for granted, my mind's expanding. It's time for a fight, command of the war. I want more, yeah, I said I want more. Took a life full of hooks, time to even the score.
Life left, so I gotta make it count. Too bloody hands, work hard just to build it now. See more doubt, see my head try to tear me down. But I won't let it show. Feelings carry me along through the struggle now. 5 toes tangled off the edge, don't look down. 6 feet deep, what will I leave when I'm underground? I don't know. Let's go, but watch me go.
Take a deep breath in, can you feel that? That's 1 in a billion, wait, 1 in a trillion. A life that's been given, a life that's worth living. I don't wanna miss it, I'll get up and get it. Cause I got a vision, I got ambitions.
What is up, guys?
Yes, sir.
Woo, we back, baby.
Yes,
We
sir.
back. The Philly alert is back. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, post notification bell, follow, whatever you got to do to get locked in with the best Eagles content on the planet. What's up, my guy?
You
Birds
got it,
fan
man. How you
81.
doing, bro? All is well, man. All is well.
That's what's up. We got my
Yes,
kids in there.
sir.
Hey, thank you, Z. She said my dad's in there. My dad's in here. Okay. Showing the support, much love, even though my kids aren't Eagles fans like they should be. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna talk there. She's a Niners fan. But she loves her daddy though. You know what I'm saying? I even got my son here. We got Junior in here. And Junior in here, he in here. talking nonsense. What do you say? What do you say? I can't get
I
on
could
here.
beat Jalen Hurts in a football game.
Oh my god! You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I gotta deal with? Y'all see what I gotta deal with? How did I just do that? I just made the screen smaller. I need to make it bigger.
The bird section. What's up, BG? Let's go.
Let's go, Bird Section in the building. Hey, shout out to my boy Bird Section. We're definitely, linking up. We're about to do some nice stuff this season. Man, go make sure you subscribe to his channel. All you guys know that the Eagles Nation is growing every single day, and we're about to bring some fire this year. I cannot wait. It's going to be great out there. It's going to be great. I want to know what just happened to my comments here, guys.
Jalen Carter gets extended. Let's
Yes, he
go. On the
did.
hunt 72. What's up?
Yeah, he did. He got extended. He got extended. I don't
Yeah.
know what I did, but I messed up everything because I had everything in full focus. But let's get to this Jalen Carter thing because first off, I would like to apologize for all the trade rumor nonsense I was saying about your boy Jalen Carter. I'm a huge JD fan, Jordan Davis. But I will say the Eagles proved me wrong. Like I knew it when they didn't trade for Miles Garrett. I knew it when they didn't use him to trade for Crosby. Uh, that means they wanted to wait till he got the training camp and see if he was going to be in the best shape of his life. And salute to you, Jalen Carter. You were in the best shape. I just put out a clip,
That's right.
guys. I was there this morning
That's
at the
right.
practice facilities this morning. I got some Landon Dickerson highlight clips, walking to practice. Jalen Carter, Jergy. I got all them boys. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe and follow me on all platforms. I give y'all this exclusive. Ain't no other Eagles content creators out there got no picture of Jalen Carter the morning he got paid $152 million. $152 million, my guy, for 4 years, $38 million a year, 102 guaranteed. What's your instant reaction on that one?
Los Eagles, son. Oh, man. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to you in a minute. Unknown by all. We'll come back to you in a minute.
What is your instant reaction on that one?
On the Jalen Carter situation, I'm excited because the big men are getting paid now. And I play defensive line, so hey man, the fat boys are back. Finally, man, the
The
fat
fat
boys are
boys
back. We
are
get
back.
paid. That's what I immediately thought about, when I saw the contract, when I saw it, I said, okay. And the thing is the defensive tackles, like it's best to sign them early because the price is going up on all the D tackles right now.
Yes, it is.
Like it's going
Some even
up. If you
asked the
look at
question. Some even asked the question, did Howie wait too long? Because you think about it, if Howie would have did this 2 months ago, but Howie was thinking like BG was thinking, I want to see what you look like with them shoulders, my guy. Because if he would have did 2 months ago, then he could have got Jalen Carter for at least $3 million cheaper. You know what I'm saying, per year. And then all the rest of those guys got signed would have had, to stack above him. But Howie doing what Howie always does, sticks to loyalty, and that's what I mess with Howie for. He stick to loyalty, and he let those guys get their contracts, and then he came on top to make Jalen Carter the highest paid DT in the game.
Jalen Carter at 38 million, Jeffrey Simmons at 35.27 million, Chris Jones at 31.75 million, Dexter Lawrence at 28 million, Milton Williams 26 million, Jordan Davis 26 million, Zach Allen with the Broncos 25.5 million, Numbi Madubuduke, however you say that with the Ravens, 24.5. Alim McNeil with the Lions, 24.25, and Quentin Williams and Derek Brown, 24 million each. That's the top 10 payroll for the D tackle inside. So there you go.
Yeah, man. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, our Bash brothers, as we like to call them over here. The
Yeah.
Bash brothers, the brotherly. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, yes, I am. 2 first-round studs. That's going to be anchoring this defense at least for the next 3 years. How do you
Yes,
guys
sir.
really feel about do the Eagles have the best defensive tackle unit in the game right now? That is the question. Do you think Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter is the best duo in the league?
Yeah, it's definitely like they're in the top three. I mean, nobody when Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis are healthy ever since college, they've been darn near unstoppable. Nobody can argue that. We saw what they did when they were together on the field. Sometimes you know how it is. You play sports. When you got a homeboy that you cool with, like my best friend's name is Willie. He played linebacker. I played D tackle. We just had that chemistry. And when you play with somebody that you got chemistry with, man, you don't even have to say anything. And like they can basically just nod their head a certain way, let them know like, hey, I'm going this way. I'm gonna do a spin move. I know what was called, but I see something different. They got good chemistry. They're good friends on and off the field. And it was just, hey, it's a match made in heaven for the Eagles.
Yeah, super match made in heaven. Because, like I said,
Yeah.
I apologize to all you guys about trading JC, but I'm gonna let you guys know that JC's about to ball out this year. Him and Jordan
Yeah.
Davis cannot both be double teamed. You got Grenard on the ends, Hutt on the ends, Nolan on the ends. Man, this defensive line's about to wreck shop. I'm saying
Yeah.
this line's gonna be at least because you guys gotta realize one part of this that I don't think people are really quite understanding. This is the third year of the Big Fangio defense for these guys. You know,
Hmm.
every year in the defense it gets evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved. But this is year number 3 for these guys. So what you thought you seen last year is about to be a lot better this year. Is that BG wants JC to take a discount? What are you guys talking about? JC is fine. JC is cool, man. He cool. We good. We good. He says,
All
yeah. But
right.
I'm gonna let you guys know, like the year 3 versus you seen what happened in year 2, and I will say he did block a couple kicks last year. He did make a couple plays, even though being hurt, being completely healthy. We've never seen a Jordan Davis playing at the level that he's playing right now with a Jalen Carter together. And I think that's another thing that's going to make this the most devastating, dynamic defensive line in the game. You got Moro and Joe Mook filling in the back end. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
actually, you never know. You never know how he's working. I heard a guy in Tampa is looking for a new home. A guy in Tampa and
Yeah.
Vea is looking
Yeah.
for a new home, and that will be a nice little trade. I know he wants money, and I don't know how much money he wants. He's kind of older player, but if he don't want that much, and how he can pull them strings, could you imagine Vea with Jordan Davis on a run play on a
Oh
fourth and
yeah, I
one
can see
play?
it.
Davis and
I can
Vea in
see
the
it.
front. Man,
I
that's
can
a
definitely
wrap.
see it.
That's a wrap. Rap City.
Um, Real quick, man. I was looking at something after I saw this go through, and we fail to give Howard the respect that he deserves. I know he's been getting it the last few years, but 2010, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, 2012, pick 12. He got Brandon Graham at 13, Jordan Davis at 13 in 2022, Jalen Carter, 2023, pick 9, Nolan Smith, pick 30, 2023, Vinny Curry, 2012, second round, Derek Barnett, 2017, pick 14, Milton Williams, 2021, third round. We just saw Milton Williams as a top 10 defensive tackle. And when it comes to pay, Josh Sweat, 2018, fourth round. Moro Jomo, 2023, seventh round. Seventh round. Now, his first round misses that we have forgot about Danny Watkins, 2011, pick 23. Marcus
Lots.
doggone Smith, 2014 pick 26. How you feel about that? Like, think about how good Howie is at drafting these defensive linemen, man. Like, that's unheard of.
Man, I can think of a lot more good ones too, man. How he just got some linemen. Hey, shout out to the dollar super chat. I mean, super sticker over there from Unknown B, all Unknown Bob. Shout out to you for the dollar super chat. Much love to you. The nation appreciates that. But to your question, you got to go back even farther. Corey Simon, Broderick Bunkley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we've had some Darren Walker. Um, we've had a lot of good DTs come through
Reggie
this.
White,
Rachel
you can
White,
keep going. Like,
Brown, Trent
yeah,
Cole, Javon Hurst, Javon Hurst.
yeah.
I already said Trent Cole. Um, who else is we played? Connor Barwin. Um,
I was just, focusing on Howie's success.
you know what I'm
Those were
saying?
Howie's picks. Like,
Yeah,
those were strictly Howie's picks, man. And he only Marcus Smith and Danny Watkins were like really the only two true misses. So, hey,
Rager.
when I saw
Rager
that,
was
he
a
knows
miss
what
for
he's
sure.
doing.
Rager was definitely a miss though. Rager missed on that
Well,
one.
that's receiver, man. Hey, I mean, we'll talk about the misses on receiver. We talking about defenses. Now, Rager was a
Yeah.
miss, but he rarely miss on them defensive linemen and offensive linemen. He
It's kind
rarely
of
does
hard,
miss.
If you're a stud offensive lineman, in high school, you're a stud in college. 9 times out of 10, you're a stud in the pros. Like defensive lineman, in terms of having the size, athleticism mixed together, to create a total like dominating force. There's not very many of them out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why Jalen Carter just became the number one in the history of NFL for defensive tackles, and he came off of a down year. So that shows you that the margin of talent at the defensive tackle is pretty spread out
Yeah,
there.
it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's like three of them that's getting that quarterback money. At 38 million a year, man, defense tackles used to never get that. They were the last to get paid back in the day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they weren't getting 38 million a year. So salute to breaking the market, changing the market, and letting the development of defensive tackles, and hopefully we get some more good ones out of it because he's the highest paid today. But we know with the market flex, eventually, a month, 2 months, the next player's gonna get paid, the next player's gonna get paid. And it's gonna be,
Oh,
he's gonna be like
let's,
I think by the end of the year, probably be like the fifth highest paid defensive tackle out there.
let's see here. We got
Hit that like,
quarterback
guys. Hit
right
that
now.
subscribe, guys. Share this content out. We definitely gonna have a lot of good stuff coming this year. So make sure you guys follow us on all social media platforms as well. Um, but
They are getting paid more than a lot of these quarterbacks. Sam Donald is making 34 million
ooh,
average per year. You got Daniel Jesus Christ. Baker Mayfield at 33, Malik Willis 23, Aaron Rodgers 23, Fernando Mendoza 14. So they're making more, like you just said, than most of the majority of the NFL quarterbacks right now, average per year.
yeah. But they're the ones that get after the quarterbacks. And everybody knows, a quarterback's worst nightmare is pressure up the middle. That's the worst
Yeah.
fear. When you got dominating pressure. Why do you think Aaron Donald became so great? You know what I'm saying? He got all them
Yeah, you're
sacks up the
right.
middle. Now I will say this.
And speaking
Now
of that, is he coming back?
Aaron, I think Aaron's gonna really feel it. You know what I'm saying? He retired and he's been down for a while. He's been working out. I think if he feels like he can be the greatest football player again for his season, he would come back for a season. But I don't think he's one of those guys that, okay, I might be all right. I won't be a liability type guy to come out of retirement and go out there and do it. So I think if he comes back, he's gonna be coming back because he knows he's gonna go out there and dominate, and that's be a world to deal with, if you're not the Philadelphia Eagles in our offensive line.
Yeah, yeah, it will.
But
Because with him and Miles Garrett and everything else that they already have in place, that could be a problem. And he'll probably play for the vet minimal. Like, and they said they already got on plans that if he wants to come back, they already said like, hey, we got something in place for him. So,
he working
since
out.
we
I
talking
know
about D
that's the man
tackle,
out there.
huh?
But, let's talk about just the dominance of the defense. Let's stay on the defense side for a little bit. Um, our secondary, man, our secondary is looking amazing. Our defensive line is looking amazing. I think we got some footage of Woolen at his first practice with the Eagles here. Let's see if I got it on here. Who's this one?
Woolen.
The number 2 is out. First day in
Mm-hmm.
practice, Woolen. Man, I think that is going to be a huge, huge upgrade in our secondary. Like our secondary, like we talked about last week, who's better than Q? Who's better than, Coop? And now it's going to be who's better than Woolen. Because with the defensive line that we have, putting the pressure that we're going to be putting on them this year, their jobs are going to be cake. You know what I'm saying? Woolen's a big physical cornerback with athletic ability. If you don't think he can jab somebody up in that first 5 yard range and then still get back in case he gets beat, you gotta realize you're talking about 10 to 15 yards. By 10 or 15 yards, one of these defensive tackles are going to be right there up, the quarterback's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like right there. And they're going to have to get rid of the ball. And Woolen's the type of guy that can make a lot of plays in the secondary, can get those interceptions that people have been looking for. I hope Quayon Mitchell, because he's been getting disrespected. And I actually wanted to play this because he's been getting disrespected, I feel like. Madden first disrespected them by not having him at, 90 overall. He's the best cornerback in the league. But he also been getting disrespected, but by the top 100, even though it's not really that disrespected, but he only moved up 2 spots.
Oh, that's the best. He's the best. He the best cornerback in the league, as me. Q is kind of his calmness and his ability to not be rattled and his ultimate confidence.
If he says something, it's real subtle.
Quinyon Mitchell, very quickly becoming one of the top corners in the league.
But that's just who he is. He's a quiet guy. I think Tampa this year is probably the most I've seen him talk in a game.
Plays, with a lot of patience for a young guy.
Knocked away by Quinyon Mitchell.
I feel like a lot of the top guys in the league at the cornerback position play with a lot of patience.
Anticipation and his patience at the line of scrimmage, I feel separates him from some of the other corners.
Quinyon Mitchell, he is really shadowing the top pass catcher at the other side of the ball.
We gave him a lot of tough tasks this year, putting him on the top receiver almost every game.
Goff resets and throws incomplete.
Quinyon Mitchell has done a job on Amon-Ra St. Brown I haven't seen anybody do.
It's been fun to just watch him, the way he answers the bell. Every single down, every single ball that's thrown his way.
Purdy, look, fire, and it's intercepted! Quinyon Mitchell!
It's like he plays with like a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to make plays, not just trying to be out there and just get PBU. He's trying to make a game-changing play.
How good's Quinyon Mitchell? Named to the All-Pro team this week. Purdy floats one deep. It is intercepted. It's Quinyon Mitchell, number 2. He's got 3 playoff interceptions in his career now.
The way he do things, the way he prepared throughout the week. I mean, he asked me, he the best corner in the league.
Is he the most underrated cornerback in the NFL?
Yeah, because he plays with the Eagles and nobody likes us. Like, we know if he played with somebody else, they'd be hyping him up. But since he plays with the Eagles, everybody's gonna try to say that he's mid. That's just how it is. If you play with the Eagles, man, you gotta like really prove yourself. We just heard we saw Keenan Allen, all these other receivers talk about how great of a defender he is. We hear the players talking about how he prepares throughout the week. I saw one interview where he was talking about how he prepares like as if he's a quarterback, and he like can predict these routes. He does his research. And many times we take that for granted when it's a corner doing that. But
Facts.
corner is the hardest position on the football field to play. I don't care what nobody says. You don't know what that other person on the other side of the ball is doing. It is hard to play corner in the NFL. Anybody want to argue with me? They can, but man, it is hard to be a shutdown corner in the NFL. That's why we don't talk about that, man.
Yeah, I remember Revis Island. He didn't get that many picks.
Yeah.
A lot of times because people just want to throw the ball his way. Like people don't realize that if you're a shutdown corner, quarterback ain't trying to go your way. Now
No, not at all.
he could put more fear in everybody's heart if he started making those interceptions in the regular season. You know what I'm saying? That would definitely give a lot more fear in people's hearts and quarterbacks' hearts. But Quinyon Mitchell is the best cornerback in football. I repeat, the best cornerback in football. Like Patrick P was the man for a couple of
Yeah.
years, but how you get drafted, right, and just not ever give up nothing. Like you're not giving up nothing. Like, yeah, you can gripe all you want about the interceptions. You can gripe to the cows come home. But at the end of the day, like this dude's locking down the best receivers in football consistently. There's a whole bay
Yeah.
called Guantanamo Bay. All the top receivers go to Guantanamo Bay because this guy
Yeah.
is locking them down. Guys that average 100 yards a game is that getting like 40 yards, 30 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's
Mm-hmm.
been doing it since his rookie year. And I interviewed him at the Senior Bowl, and I wasn't even sure he was gonna be this good. To be honest, I wasn't like that hyped about him. Like, why y'all want him first round? Like we can go get somebody else first round. Maybe he'd be there in a second. But dude, he's been living up to that first round pick since the day he got on the football field.
Hey.
Quinton Mitchell is really the truth, dude. And the Eagles, like, what I'm saying, like they gonna have something to think about. With him and Coop doing what they've been doing the last couple of years on the secondary. Both of them. Coop was even a first round All Pro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
First team All Pro. It's like,
Yeah.
what? You got two first team All Pros? We might have three this year with Woolen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like with this defense, the way we set up. So our secondary future is looking pretty bright. But I know they did say something about how they gonna pay him. I think it was Adam Schefter was talking about that's the reason why the Eagles went out and got this deal done is to get ready over the next couple of years to deal with Coop and Q. Because you realize Coop's probably gonna be the one getting the extension first. There is no, fifth year option with him. So you gotta lock him down first. And then after that, it's gonna be like kind of like the Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter thing where one's gonna get paid fat, then the next one's gonna come around, then the following year and get paid fast. So it's gonna be nice. But this was what Adam had to say about it.
Defensive backs, and at some point you wonder if you can keep all these players, but clearly they have a plan which they're enacting, which is why they went early with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter to try to get out ahead of it as much as it costs right now before they can go on to the two defensive backs that they want to.
That they want to get to. So this is all Howie's strategy. We got 25 comments in there. What do people say in there? I can't get the comments. What they say?
Hold on 1 second.
And salute to all you guys in here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We could be dropping content all year long. The Philly Alert is about to be a household brand, guys. We got Lust, the performer that brought you winning. Go Birds, Fly Eagles Fly, some of the best Eagles songs of all time.
King
Yeah.
DB Sports.
DB, where you at, man? I sent you the link. Go check out your ex. Go check out your ex. You can come up in here. I got you.
All right, we got Jalix needs his bag too.
You
Okay.
know what,
How
though?
much?
Twitch, you're right. Jalen needs his bag too. But Jalen is in a prove it year too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to do it last year. I want to see Jalen Suggs. Like, really? Like, I want to see Jalen Suggs get to that. You know what I'm saying? What up, DB? I want to
What
get, I
up?
want
What
to
up?
get,
What up? What up? What up?
What's up,
I,
bro?
I want to get Jalen Suggs to that double digit sack range. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's good enough to get there, and I want to see him get there. You know, like before I get all Jalen's, give Jalen's the bag. Do it for me 2 years in a row, and then also, you know what I'm saying? Give me that double digit sack because you got the opportunity of a lifetime. What was he, a fifth round pick or something like that? You know, compared to Nolan
Ninth.
Smith, a first, huh?
He was uh uh Jalen Carter. You talking about?
I'm talking about Jalen Suggs.
Hunt.
Hunt? Yeah, he was. What was that? Third round?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
like
was
third
third round.
round pick. And then you're behind Nolan
Hunt
Smith
was
for first
on.
year.
Yeah, he was a third round pick. That was 2024.
And you're supposed to be behind Nolan Smith, and Nolan Smith's dropping the ball, and you got every chance to pick up the ball. Last year, you led our team in sacks and interceptions. Like, that's really hard to do. People don't understand how hard that is. Like, I don't even know if I can recall another player on our team that's ever led the team in interceptions and sacks. Like, that's crazy.
Hold on, BG. Hold on, BG. You said Nolan Smith is dropping the ball. How he's dropping the ball though?
Getting too hurt. You know what I'm saying?
No, so
Even
see, this is. Hey, wait. You know, I commend you. First of all, thank you for finally having me on your show
we've been trying to get you on the Philly alert, my guy.
look, I know. I got you. But I don't think that Nolan Smith has because 2024. Think about it. He had 4.5 sacks in the postseason of 2024, and then in the Super Bowl he played hurt, and he still finished the game. Like that's meaningful snaps. Think about it. We can't talk about Jalen Hurts.
Listen,
we can't listen. Wait. Before you go, because I'm about to finish.
I got you.
We can't talk about we can't talk about Jalen Hurts and say, hey, you know, he's a winning quarterback. He does what matters and when it matters in the postseason and all that. But then turn our cheek towards our away from Nolan Smith, whereas though that he did that in 2024 also.
Like, the way I'm gonna answer this for you is to help you understand. Like, he reminds me of Dean. He has moments, okay? He has moments of being very, very, very good, right? But when he's at that peak, and not only Dean, you can go back to Marcus Epps. You can go back before that. Who was that other safety we had too? Sidney Brown. These guys flare, but that physicality they play at get them hurt. And then that's when we need him the most. Like, yes, you can go back to 24 playoffs, and he had one of the best playoffs for a defensive and especially a young buck like that, you know, ever to help us win that Super Bowl. But last year, he came back down to earth. You know, and I know our whole team kind of came back down to earth last year. But when you're great in this league and you become a household name, that's a week in, week out job. To be a household name. We're projecting Jalen Hunt to be a household name. You know what I'm saying? He got the whole bow, you know, Trent Cole celebration and everything because Trent Cole used to love hunting back in the day. And I think Jalen Hunt got that, you know, next level to him, and he's not getting hurt. And that's the biggest thing. No one's a beast. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's a dog. He's a Philly dog for sure. But his beastliness gets him hurt. And we need consistency. We need you to play a full 20 game season. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, you know, if he got hurt maybe in the first couple of weeks, but not at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we need him to be more on the field a lot more than what he is. That's the reason why we let go. Not only that we had Jahad Campbell, but that's the reason why we let go of Dean. Dean was the best run stopping linebacker we got. We let him go because availability is the best ability. You know, if you ain't available to play but 5 games a season, 6 games a season here and there, man, what are you doing? You know, you
We
might be a
got
superstar.
In 3 years, he has 10 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. No interceptions. He has a total of 91 tackles, 46 solo, and 45 assists. 10 and a half sacks in 3 years. Considering everything else on that defensive line, that's not a lot. Y'all see what you're saying with saying that he need to, step up.
No, I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off.
All right, you good? Go ahead.
But you talk about Nolan Smith, right?
Right.
Cool. So, again, we're talking about Jahad Campbell being the starter this year, correct? Because he's a first-round draft pick and all that. But then you got to think about, okay, Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean, we had the same conversations about him. He's not available. Why does he keep getting hurt? After weeks, 6, maybe 7, he came back, took that starter position over for the last year. You know what I'm saying? When he got hurt in 2024, he was the voice and kind of the linebacker coach on the side for Oren Burt that stepped up for us in the postseason. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things matter because we don't hear about it on Twitter, just because we don't hear about it in NFL or anything like that. That matters. That matters. And Nolan Smith really mattered to the organization because of the leadership that he brought into the on the defensive side. Now, when you sit up there and think about Nolan Smith put his body on the line. Like I was not okay. If people that's here now been following me or been subscribed to any of my channels that I lost or whatever like that, I would say this. I always got on Nolan Smith about doing that same ghost move because that's a predictable move in the NFL. You can't get away with what you got away with in the collegiate stage of your career. You're in the NFL now. So he started going into the SAC programs in the summer, and doing things and who was it? Von Miller and so forth. He's been going through certain things. We picked up his 5th-year option. A lot of people say because of the Jalen Carter signing. And shout out to Jalen Carter for getting his bag, but at the same time, I got my dilemma with that.
Oh, well. But then we need to get off Nolan Smith and get on your Jalen Carter dilemma.
No. We're going to get on that. I just want to finish this real quick. I think Jalen Carter is not giving us advice until we get towards that 5th-year option. And if he's not producing this year, then we can have that discussion. I feel like that because he got injured, we're taking it away from him like he's injured, he's damaged goods. Whereas though that when he showed that when he was healthy and when BG went down in 2024, he did step up and got the 4.5 sacks. And then throughout the Super Bowl, he did play with that injured pectoral injury.
Remember, TV, he got hurt twice that year. So now you're looking at 3 years, and he hasn't had a full year.
For 10 and a half sacks.
Yeah, and only 10 and a half sacks.
But Jalen Carter,
his impact in the run game is a lot more valuable.
Yeah.
But Jalen Carter just got paid, and he's the highest paid defensive tackle with 13 sacks in 3 years.
That's D tackle though. How many sacks you want your D tackle to get?
A lot if he's supposed to be the next Aaron Donald. And that's what we're gonna get on here because I hate doing this because you be getting me started with this Jalen Carter thing. Listen, salute to Jalen Carter, like we said. DV, is it worth it? Did the Eagles make the right decision?
I think they made it too soon. I think that they should, because he's coming off of shoulder injury, and he had to have 2 shoulder surgeries to the point where we don't really know. Now we're going off of what he's doing without pads, what he's doing in the weight room, what he's doing on the sideline between mini camp and OTAs, we don't know what he's capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we got Aaron Donald's approval saying that he's the next him. We got all those things. I get it, but at the same time, I feel like that he needed to earn something. We could have waited until like at least mid-season to be like,
I
all
said
right,
week 6. I want to give
we
them
gotta
cash
pay.
to week 6.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta pay him because now I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about Coop. I'm not thinking about Q so much. Like I said before I got on here, that Q we could pick up his 5th-year option because he's the first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? With Coop. Coop is playing multiple positions. He's asking to do a lot and everything like that. He's a pivotal part of that defense. Vic Fangio is only here for about 2 more years. Let's face it. So now you got to think like, okay, well, Coop can play the nickel and base corner, even if safety get hurt. Not base corner, base safety. Now, if a safety get hurt, now he has to play more safety, and then we got to put Marco Carter II, or vice versa. Because let's face it, Vic Fangio said that he liked Marco Carter II. He likes Marcus Epps, right? So we got to do those things. So we got to make it make sense in that aspect. You know, giving him that money, of course, is an extension beyond the 5th-year option. So I think Howie Roseman could get it done. I'm not taking that away from him. But I need Jalen Carter to earn what we just gave him.
Well, hold on. Now y'all said if you making a certain amount of money, you want these players to produce. All right, we got 2 top 10 defensive tackles that we playing. So it's the standard that y'all want double-digit sacks from Jordan Davis as well.
We're not talking about so from my standpoint, I can't speak for BG, but from my standpoint, I can't sit up there and say that I want double sacks from him. Only because he draws a lot of double teams. He has somebody on that side, and then Jonathan Grenard. Like I'm not like weak in the doing of how football is played. I'm not saying about sacks. I just need him not to put the organization, the team in jeopardy. You know, you had Spitgate, you had him coming into training camp not in shape at all. It was a game in 2025 that he didn't play the whole first half, or the first quarter, I should say. Mark me if I'm wrong, but the whole first quarter because of something that happened in training, a practice before the game. It's certain things like that cannot be. I'm not paying somebody $38 million a year if it's more about the top than the talent. Your mental has to be straight, and I felt like that he learned, you know, from the press conference he had when the Spitgate happened. Whatever when we think, because I think that Dak Prescott alluded to that more than Jalen Carter got caught doing it, and then he got the brunt of it. But I feel like that those things can't happen when you're jeopardizing the team, where you're the best defensive player on the squad. It can't happen.
Leadership.
And I hope you agree. I hope you're in agreement with me, because at the end of the day,
that's fair.
What happens? Like I said, I played all his highlights on my channel before I got on here. I think that he could be promising to the point where he's a generational talent. First round, 9th pick, you know, BG.
What I'm saying on that is like,
no, wait. BG thought that we was going to get Bijan Robinson that year.
We should have.
Bijan Robinson should have been a pick, but we went with.
Imagine if we did though. You know, like Bijan's like the best back in the league besides Saquon.
No, I don't think
he's top 3.
I don't think so. It's easy to put up those
stats. Saquon, Bijan, and Gibbs. Those are your top 3 running backs.
All right, here we go. I think so. We got a few comments we need to touch on right quick.
Go.
Let's get caught up. Yeah, salute
Do
to all you
we
guys. Sorry we've been leaving y'all out because I seen it got up to like 27 comments.
do we want a disgruntled player? All the noise with him getting traded. We showed we believed in Carter. So do you want a disgruntled player? And he followed that with, I think mid-season would maybe be a distraction for the team. So, Philly 5, shout out to you. Mid-season, you contract issues, that can be a cancer in the locker room.
I think he would have known that like he had to earn it. Because like I told you guys, generational talent is not something to be flirting with. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be like, oh, this guy's generational talent and dude be mid. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Carter has shined in seasons. To be honest with you, shine. Make dynamic plays. Super Bowl year, the Max Stafford sack was the biggest sack of the freaking season. You know what I'm saying? Like he's made plays, but he has not produced nothing more than 6 sacks in the season. I think one time, and he's been in the league for 3 years. Like if you're gonna be generational, Aaron Donald did that shit every single season. You know what I'm saying? Double digit, boom, 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 boom. That's generational. That's something we never seen before by a defensive tackle. Now, if you're gonna say that he's gonna be that guy, I want to at least see one double digit sack here, or at least give me 9. Give me
I can play
8.
advocate. I can play advocate because I look at everything. I look at everything like how you just said. I agree with, but you got to think about it. These are young kids that's coming out of college, and all when he's going through the draft situation, all he's hearing about is what happened off the field and all that. And then offensive linemen, his first, second, maybe third year too, he's hearing these things like, yo, I'm gonna put you where your friend is, or anything that it is, right? Yeah. They know how to tap into that. And I'm pretty sure that Prescott did that same thing to the point where it pushed some of his buttons. So now he has to be at a point, especially because the organization didn't show not once but twice they believed in this kid, in Jalen Carter, because they drafted him ninth overall, and then they just paid him to be right now the top defensive tackle that's been
and he had character issues coming out of college too.
Yeah.
Right. But they believed in him still because of this talent. Mm-hmm. So now all I'm saying is right now I can't change all that. None of us can change all of it. All we can see is okay, $38 million. We already know we got him for 2 more years because of this year, and then the 5th year option we picked up, and then whatever happened, the extension happens after the 5th year. We need to see him pick that shit up, because if not, then he might be trade bait.
And that's another thing the Eagles do. They give you a fat new contract and put you in that proven mode. If you don't prove it, they definitely ship your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I think, and that's all I wanted this year. Like, I wasn't even never hating on Jalen Carter. I was just saying, like, you gotta realize there's a lot of good DTs in the league, right? And there was a lot of good DTs when Aaron Donald played. But Aaron Donald was like a whole nother level compared to the rest of these cats, to the point where, like, you couldn't really compare none of them to him. Now you're going out there comparing this guy to Aaron Donald. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he's not a beast. I'm just saying, show me Aaron Donald stats if you're gonna get Aaron Donald money. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me Aaron Donald stats.
Now,
Give me
what
close.
I'm not
You can say Aaron Donald. Oh, he does get pressures. He does get double team a lot. Aaron Donald did all that. He used to get triple team and still double digit sacks.
We got a comment right here.
Go.
Did we got any super chats?
Grab his comment.
Because I see 3
George
stars.
B. Burgess says, in my opinion, they should have gave him that money. I believe he did earn it. Look at the dude from Dallas, Michael Parsons. He's talking about he definitely earned a big contract. Then he goes to Green Bay and gets hurt. Pay them if they earn it. They can get hurt any given day. That's the gamble the owners take every season. I thought that was a good comment. I just wanted to throw that one in there.
Was there any super
That's
chats
cool.
too, or no?
No super chats.
So I hear what people are saying because I go always to the Justice Simmons contract and before he basically broke that the defensive tackle state. You know what I'm saying? Organizations that's not really in they competing, but they're not in competition for a Super Bowl. Let's make that mark there. Now, what I learned about the Dallas Cowboys organization is that the Dallas Cowboys organization is more about the flashiness and all that, about the players that could be. You know what I'm saying? Right now, think about it. Ryan Clark just got fired after he said it probably could have led towards certain, but he got fired because he said that the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, which none of us really believe on this panel. What I think is that we look too much like I understand. Okay, Justice Simmons got his payout, so we like, oh, Jordan Davis is better than Justice Simmons, so he should get a huge payout. He should get a bigger payout than that. You know, he set the market. You know, and I'm not going to go towards Q yet because there's an award just got extension, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But I'm just saying that the way it looks is that yes, we should have paid Jalen Carter, and I'm happy that that's what it is. A lot of people will say we're not the Cowboys, we're not the Saints, and all that. Of course, we're not. I wanted Jalen Carter to get paid. The whole thing is, I didn't feel like that he showed a lot in that stint to get paid, but I do trust Howie and all in the medical staff to say, okay, well, the shoulders is good and all that. I don't want it to be a Drew Rosenhaus because I'm not really a huge fan of Drew Rosenhaus. I don't want it to be his choice to, okay, sign my player or we're just going to hold in until you pay us. I didn't want that. Jeffrey Simmons, you're right, EC1. Jeffrey Simmons, not Justice Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, that's the case too with the hold in and whatnot. But you have to kind of do it early. Like Howie's always going to do it early before he does later. You know, like that's just the Howie motto. You know, he's always going to be ahead of the game to get that contract locked in. You know what I'm saying? New contracts free up new money, free up new opportunities. Like, on that note, though, do you think that that contract kind of shows how much more better than he is than Jordan Davis? Because I feel like Jordan Davis is going to be our best defensive tackle moving forward.
Well. To answer your question, Jordan Davis came into the league as a nose tackle only. You know, and we couldn't play him every snap or majority of the steps like we could Jalen Carter. So that's up for Jalen Carter. Now he's Peloton. He's Peloton Jordan Davis now, and he showed that last season, and he was basically our best defensive player last season. Honestly, I'm happy that Jordan Davis got paid and all that, but yeah, Jalen Carter, talent wise, you can't rate it. You know, you can't undermine to the point where Jalen Carter is the best defensive tackle that we have. He's the best defensive player that we have. Q is second. I think Q is second. I think Jalen Carter is first.
I don't think Bond's our best defensive player right now.
I don't think so.
He's been consistent over the last since he's been here. You know what I'm saying? He's
This is
all
why.
pro. Best at the
Okay.
position since he's been here, right?
Okay.
Now Jalen Carter, like I said, I'm in the belief that Jordan Davis is better than Jalen Carter for multiple reasons. I'm not just gonna say it to say it. He's bigger. He's way more bigger. When he stands next to Jalen Carter looks like his little brother.
I get it.
He's stronger. He's faster. Jalen Carter's even came out and said Jordan Davis is faster than me. I can't touch his speed for his size. And the thing that happened that I don't think the Eagles were even expecting to happen is he took that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hoped, we prayed. We were like, oh man, he's a great run stopper. But if he can use the athleticism to become, a pass rusher too, then we really got a beast. And it took a couple years for him to get down in weight. It took him some time to get to where he needed to be. But last year showed you that he's there. And that is that whole, like, you go back 3 years, and you're like, if he could possibly get there, it came to fruition last year. And it's only going to get better every year out. Now that little dream, that little thought that we had about Jordan Davis at that moment, the Eagles drafted Carter because we weren't sure about that dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't sure if he was going to get to this level. So that's why we go ahead and go get another beast. Boom, we get another boy. Go get his homeboy from Georgia. Bring him in here. But now that we got both of them, he's the one that's elevated every single year. Got smaller, more athletic, better stats. Every single playing more. Last year he played like 50% of snaps. Like he's up there. And for a guy that size, it reminds me kind of like the comparison of Fletcher Cox and Aaron Donald. For those years, they were in the league together, right? Aaron Donald was the number one sack getting defensive tackle. Fletcher Cox was the number one run stopping defensive tackle. Until Fletcher's last couple of years, where he actually got sacks. 2, that actually catapulted him to being, the number one DT, especially when Aaron left. It's the same thing that's going on with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. But Jalen Carter needs to get those stats up for me to give him that respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Jalen gave me, even if you don't get double digits this year, which I think when you get paid that kind of money, I want you to. Even if you don't get that, give me 9.
Do you realize that Jalen Carter wouldn't have been available when we got him if he didn't have character issues? Like that, everybody was saying this guy was going to be a top 5 pick. So that's why you have to go ahead and pay him, because the talent is there, the potential is there. We could just keep him out of trouble and keep his head right, man. We got a
thing
gem.
is, how long do you wait on potential?
I mean, he's already produced. I think he want this man to come out here and walk on water like Jesus. You talk about Jordan Davis, man. Jordan Davis. You talk. Hold on, now, bro. You go don't start this. You just like them brunch sexuals when it come to Jordan Davis, man.
No. I'm going to piggyback off of you. Perfect. I'm going to piggyback off of you when you're done. I'm just waiting for you to be done.
I'm not the one that said he's the next Aaron Donald. Like, that's the only thing that hyped you up about Jalen Carter. If you really look at it, why you think Justin Simmons had better numbers here and looked better than he did last year? The year before, you can get another DT that looked better and had better numbers than Jalen Carter. He's good.
Hey, bro, you take Jalen Carter off of that defense, we don't win the Super Bowl.
Everybody wants him to be. And all I'm saying is this year I want to see it.
Hey. But Jordan Davis would not be what he is without Jalen Carter.
Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You talking crazy tonight, man. Let me put my hat on, man. Yeah.
Why
Hey, go
wouldn't he
ahead,
be?
bro.
Why wouldn't he be? Let's talk about it.
Nah, bro.
Hold on.
Hey,
Oh, wait,
You
man.
wait, wait, wait,
cannot
wait, wait, wait.
teach. Listen, you cannot
Virgin.
teach 6'6", 340, 50, 60 pounds. You can't teach that. So no matter what, he was always going to be that.
Bro, when
The
Jalen
rookie
Carter
year,
was at
listen,
Georgia,
let's go back.
eh,
Let's go back. Let's go back. Listen,
no, hold on for one
let's
second.
go
Let
back
me
to
ask
his
you this
rookie year.
question. We
Let's go
talking
back to
about
his
a
rookie
dude
year. No.
that,
You said this.
that when
When
the
Jalen
ball is
Carter, let
hype,
me just get. Let me tell you something. What we expect from Jordan Davis is to stop that run from his rookie year. The first 5 games of the season, the Eagles are top 3 run stopping defense because of Jordan Davis. After that, he gets hurt. Right? What happens to our defensive line? We had a Dominican Sue, Linval Joseph. We were picking people off the bench to try to fulfill the run stopping need that we needed in that situation. So Jordan Davis from day one has done what we expected him to do. Like everything that we're getting from Jordan Davis from last year on is definitely cherry icing on the cake. It was something that most people didn't even expect or even acknowledge that he can even get to that level. It just very few was like, damn, with a guy that size and that speed, if he can start getting some sacks too, woo! You talking about the best DT in football type stats.
you
And
take Jalen Carter, you take Jalen
Jordan
Carter out of
Davis,
his life, bro, and he'll still be good, man. But you're not giving Jalen Carter his props.
I'm
Jalen
giving
Carter
him
is
props.
so
Listen.
athletic. When this man, they said that this man hikes when the ball is hiked, he can nearly he reaching out to get it. This how fast this man. Do you realize how fast that is, bro? And you talking about athleticism with Jordan
That's
Davis,
effort.
and we talking about a
Hey,
man
if
that
you
can
would have
actually
got
get
the
a snap.
interception, then maybe I give him some more props. You don't get no, shoulda, woulda, coulda from
Oh,
him.
come on, bro. All
Okay,
right,
you
hold
shoulda,
on.
woulda, coulda with him. Okay,
They
I'm
said
not.
you moving the goalposts.
Can I ask you? Can I ask you a question, BJ? Do you
Yeah,
think? Listen, do you think that Jordan Davis would have got paid if Jalen Carter wasn't on this team? Yes or no?
yeah, yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no,
You
no,
have. I just proved to you that he would have. We
no. You would.
needed him
No, you
when Jalen
didn't.
Carter was on the team.
No,
He
you
was still
didn't.
the best defensive tackle on our football team.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. And how we trust, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So why did Howie sit up there the next year or so draft Jalen Carter, knowing that we already have Jordan Davis?
I just told you. He weighed 360 pounds. That was an if. That's why I'm saying, like, Eagles fans got to realize that was an if. If Jordan Davis loses the weight, if Jordan Davis can get after the quarterback, if Jordan Davis can be disciplined, who knows how many fat boys you just seen came through the league that
So
everybody's
why
like,
why do you
oh,
think?
let me finish. How many fat boys you
Go
see
ahead.
come to the league that if they were to lost that weight, they could actually be good. That actually don't lose the weight and aren't good.
Albert
A
Haynesworth,
lot of
one
them,
of
a lot
them.
of them. You know
Hey,
what I'm
we got
saying?
some good comments coming in,
The
man.
fact that
Let's
he
touch these
did do
comments.
it, the fact that
Go,
he
go, go.
did do it, that was the cherry on top that no one ever seen. Like it was like if you were to go back to your draft and say with Jordan Davis, when we drafted him at that spot when we drafted him, what are the likelihood of him being the best DT on our football team after 4 years overall DT? A lot of people would probably I'm saying like 10%, 5%. You know what I'm saying? That would have been like, damn, he's going to actually do it because he's fat as fuck right now. He's 360 pounds. We're just hoping that we can get him on the field. After that first year when he was, 25% of the snaps, we're just hoping that he had some discipline in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like, please get disciplined. Stop eating so much. You know what I'm saying? Get smaller. Produce more. Be on the football field more than 25% of snaps. And then he did every year after that. He did. And last year he was a star. Like he got snubbed from the Pro Bowl last year. He was one of the best DTs in the game last year. Like people are tripping. Like you're
I
tripping if you
agree
don't
with you
think
on that.
he should have went to the
No,
Pro
he
Bowl
is.
last year.
No, he should have. He should have. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is that him playing next to his brother, that's the Jalen Carter, Breadman, the real Breadman now, since he's the highest paid defensive tackle. It plays a major part. On top of that, he knew that about
Let
his
Arden.
contract. Like, hey, he got to lose weight. Think about it. We had him for a couple years before he started to lose the weight, and he worked at Peloton, right? And he basically put it into a situation where as though that he needed to step up and play for that. Last year got him the bag. Let's not make that known, like unknown. It got him the bag. That got him the bag because last year he played lights out. He was one of the sparks that was in that 2025 season. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Jalen,
You can even go back to that Josh Allen the year before. Even though he was out and he was done for that year, the effort that he put in there, you just knew that okay, he
that's
showed you.
effort, bro.
But that's all you said. But that's all you really saying with Jalen Carter's effort.
No, it's hope. It's hope that he lives up to that potential. That's why I said yes. They seen his surgeries for the double shoulders and all that, and it was more so like, okay, we gonna pay you this money because they did think about it. Okay, and I hate to bring him up, but AJ Brown, we paid him and all that. Devontae Smith got an extension. AJ Brown was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to be back. Maybe this is it for me. And then we extended him, and he got into that office and was like, okay, I'm going to retire Eagle. This is home and all that. All that change when we won. All that change when situation happened. All that change when Saquon Barkley got into the building and Saquon Barkley became the focus because the offense wasn't moving the way it needed to be moved when Kellen Moore was here in the beginning. And then now he's sitting up there saying, well, they weren't throwing the ball and all that. Fast forward, you see what's going on with the Patriots. I don't want to talk about that here. But with Jalen Carter, I think that Jalen Carter deserves the bag, yes. But do I think that he's worth the top dollar? I didn't think that he was worth the top dollar, but I understood from their standpoint on the reason why, because he draws double teams. He sit up there and think about it. In 2024 against the Rams, we don't go past the Rams without him.
I put like
it wasn't Jordan Davis. It wasn't Jordan Davis. It was Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm. You're going back 2 years now. It was, but even for people that like that play, I'm like, well, like it wasn't like he dominated the whole game though. Like you think about it, we seen Fletch dominate whole games from start to finish. Domination. We've seen Corey Simon dominate whole games from beginning to end. We have yet to see a Jalen Carter game where he's dominated from the beginning to the end of being
man, he has dominated.
I did.
I think I just don't understand why you don't like this man. Like you got something against Jalen Carter.
I'm gonna let Berg fans talk. I want to let Jalen Carter. I don't want to talk nobody.
Love him.
I don't want to talk.
You're not giving Jalen Carter. Without Jalen Carter on that defensive line, it changes the whole dynamic.
I'm saying like this. Okay. So DB, how did you feel? I had something else I wanted to say before this, but you guys got me to this point. But how did you feel about the whole Crosby or Garrett? Do you think that if you were the Eagles GM, Howie Roseman, you would have traded JC for either one of those two guys?
No, because at the end of the day, I figured the philosophy of Howie Roseman, and Howie Roseman is more so of the younger talent, or the potential of the younger talent, more than somebody they could get now. Like we would have been in the same position as the Rams. This is why. Wait. we would have been in the same situation as the Rams. Think about it. All the work and mileage that Myles Garrett has with the Browns, right? And all of the work and mileage of Max Crosby have with the Raiders, right? And we bring that over here. Yes, they can help us, but they can also be like, okay, we one and done. Or if we want go to the Super Bowl with them, we one and done and all that. We're paying them for what? What are we paying them for? Because now they're going to still be on the books after they retire. Whereas though that you got younger players that with the potential that hungry and all that, this has been our philosophy. This has been our philosophy with the younger players. So why would we sit up there? Think about it. We just let go of Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, and all of them because this was supposed to happen with the Jalen Carter situation. So why would we sit up there and pay or trade away a potential guy that could basically be the front runner of our defense of the organization? Why would we trade him away for a Myles Garrett because of the name? No, I understand what he did in the league.
Myles Garrett's the best defensive player in football. Now,
yeah, I understand
he's
that.
had 20 sacks, okay? 20.
1 year.
In 1 year, he got more sacks than Jalen Carter's whole career. Career.
Cool. Well, he got more than Jordan Davis, too. So throw that in there,
Jalen
too.
Carter together.
Yeah.
No,
okay,
what
there
I
you
was
go.
saying to
Let's
that is, if you were to
make
make
it.
that move, you wouldn't have been going older at the DT spot.
I'm about to rebuttal.
You still had Jordan Davis.
Bro.
You still had Moro
about to rebuttal all
You
this.
still had the White Rhino or Gorilla, Videla Gorilla. You still had Brian Young. You know, you still had young guys at the DT spots, and it'll help outside. Now, when you look at the outside of our defensive line,
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting.
You got Bernard, who was down year last year, right? Down year last year, but averages 12 sacks a year. But last year he didn't average it. So we bringing him in hoping we can get him back to 2 years ago, right?
And they said Carter stuffed you in a locker or something.
You never stuffed me in. I don't get stuffed in lockers, homie. And then you got Jalen Hunt that we're looking at the promise of Jalen Hunt, hoping that he can get to that at least 8-9 range, right? And then you're looking at Nolan Smith. You hope they can stay healthy and can do something. So if you look at the weakness of that line, it's more outside than inside. And to give up one piece from the inside to upgrade the outside, could you imagine Myles Garrett, Grenard coming off the ends with Jordan Davis and Moro Jomo in the middle of that defense? It would not have been bad. It would not have been bad. I don't care what any Eagle fan said. That would have been ridiculous. Because Jordan Davis still gets double teamed, period. He's too big not to. And if you double team one guy in that defensive line, Myles Garrett and Grenard off the ends, come on, my guy. Like,
I'm
y'all
going to say
act
this
like what
before
I
you
was
go,
saying
King
was
DB,
so
and then I'll be
ridiculous.
quiet a minute. All right,
Yeah, but
bro,
what I was
I
saying was
opened the
so
show.
ridiculous. But if you seen it in real life, that would have been good. Well, I'm an Eagles fan for this year. You know, I
Hey,
want to chip
BG,
this year.
this is
I
history,
don't care
bro.
about
Listen, let me go right quick, man. Brandon Graham, 2010. Fletcher Cox, 2012. Jordan Davis, 2022. Jalen Carter, 2023. Nolan Smith, 2023. Vinny Curry, 2012. Derek Barnett, 2017. Milton Williams, 2021. Josh Sweat, 2018. Moro Jomo, 2023. This is Howard's philosophy, bro. He gets good defensive linemen in here and he tries to keep them. He couldn't pay Milton Williams. You can't keep everybody. So this is just his philosophy. So if you think it's going to change, it's not going to change. He going to pay defensive linemen, bro. Like this going to happen. If they show any potential that they didn't earn that money, how is going to pay them? Go ahead, DV. That's on you.
That he'd get an old school vet to win that chip too. Don't forget about Chris Long.
How much was you going to pay Myles Garrett? You going to pay Myles? How much Myles Garrett going to get paid?
Listen, y'all, everything is, there's levels to this shit. Basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's levels to this shit. Different players for different levels. You know what I'm saying? This guy's the best. Jalen Carter's not the best defensive player in football. Miles Garrett is the best, hands down, not even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he say who's the best DPT, 9 times out of 10, the first thing come out your mouth will say Miles Garrett. Like, that dude's that good. Like, it's not that I'm discrediting JC by saying that if they wanted JC in a trade, I would have made that trade for Super Bowl this year. Cause I'm about this year. I want chips after chips after chips. And like you even made my point more valid by letting me know that Howie, even if we were to get rid of JC, would have gotten another defensive tackle. Because I already seen this new defensive tackle they're talking about the Eagles supposed to be linked to the draft next year. Out of I think Florida State or whatnot. This dude's a big beast too. Like they gonna keep coming. But Miles Garrett's a generational talent. So instead of getting a generational talent, you assume and hold off for a guy that everybody called generational talent has not been generational talent yet.
There go. That's Garrett right there. That's Miles Garrett's numbers right there.
37, I'm 35.7. We're paying 38, so we'd have got him for cheap. Save some money.
But you forget what you giving up. So you giving up all of that real estate, all your equity. You selling you going all in on this guy, and you
I would have.
basically saying
Like,
like,
obviously, we
hey,
can't do this trade no more because all it's over. And I hate to be talking about dead things, but in reality, I would have, man. I would have did that shit. If I was Howie, y'all wouldn't see Jalen Carter on this roster right now. You know, just because there is that question mark. DV talked about it earlier. His attitude, his maturity level. You know what I'm saying? You got kicked out of the first game of the season last year for spitting on the player, regardless of what he said to you. This is NFL. You grown as hell. Okay? Words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words should never hurt your ass. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need to do that spitting thing. You know, the aggravations, the shoulders, the two shoulder things really irritate me. You know, I hope and pray that they are 100% healed because that's a huge thing to be a DT and have two bad shoulders. Period. Like it's the little things about him that leaves you like curious about him. But is he actually going to get there? And I want him to get there. Hey, we signed him. I hope he gets there this year. We can't trade for Garrett no more, so that whole thing's out. I'm just saying, if I was in a Howie situation, I would have said, bunk it. And I would have traded his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Like, for
Cool
two
story,
years
bro.
of dominating. We haven't even had we've never even had a 20 sack guy on our defensive line before. Can you imagine getting him with the rest of these guys with the secondary we got? Miles Garrett with the secondary? He playing on a bum team with 20 sacks? Could you imagine Jordan Davis, Ajomo, Hunt, Nolan, Q, Coop, Woolen? You know what I'm saying? All these cats playing with you, my guy. Oh Lord. He would have like
Waiting for my turn, bro.
30 sacks.
Just waiting.
Go ahead,
You done?
DB. I'm done.
No, because I hear what you're saying, right? I hear everything that you're saying. I can rebuttal everything that you just said, though. Because think about it. When BG Brandon Graham was here, we wanted him gone because he wasn't producing, right? Injuries, he just wasn't producing, right? And Jason Kelsey, same thing. They got the same type of stories, similar stories, right? You don't give up on a player just because, and I think that the Eagles only gave up on Nakobe Dean because Jahad Campbell was the first round draft pick. Now that's just it right there. And they wanted to see if Jahad Campbell could be an edge rusher or anything like that before they even went towards Jonathan Grenard. So now you're talking about JC, right? You're talking about Jalen Carter, Breadman himself. Now, like I said, I'm not on board of giving him top dollar, but I understood why we gave him top dollar. You sitting up there thinking that Jalen Carter, like, who was that? I think it was Jigga that said that. And I said this before. we would not have a Super Bowl without. We wouldn't have been in the NFC Championship. We played the Rams before the Commanders in 2024. We would not have been in that NFC Championship without Jalen Carter. That's a fact. That's the same
That's not a
thing with
fact. That's not a fact.
how
Because anybody could have made that play.
who
Anybody.
come on, man.
Let's be real with it.
So
Is he the only
wait.
guy that ever
So,
made a play that cost their team to win to go to the next play, the next
so,
round
so,
of the
so let me
playoffs?
ask you a question.
Have we never had players do that before? We've always had players do that.
Let me ask you a question.
There's been plenty of players to do that.
Do you believe that if BG didn't get that strip sack and Derek Barnett didn't get that fumble, that we wouldn't have won that Super Bowl against Tom Brady?
It's possible. It didn't have to be BG. It could have been Barnett that got the strip sack. And it could have been somebody else that picked it up.
Oh, bro. Like,
I'm just saying, like, you act like it couldn't have been nobody else in their position to do it if the right defensive play was called. You know what I'm saying? Those were defensive plays that were perfectly called at the right time. You know what I'm saying? That strip sack, defensive play. If we had any capable DT come around wide open to hit Tom Brady, I'm pretty positive he was going to fumble the ball regardless. If we had any DT wide open and coming straight up the middle of the field, if Jordan Davis came straight up the middle of the field unblocked, like that Rams game with Matthew Stafford, he would have made the play too.
Bro, come on, man. Like,
you don't think
I'm
good?
talking about. I'm not talking about. I'm not
Somebody
talking
got
about
the hundreds chats and I see all those chats. I don't know what's up with Birdman. I can't get the chats, but I see it's up there high. Hopefully, Bird fan. Man, I can't get my internet hooked up. I'm still working. I'm still trying to get things going, man. I got internet, but my computer's not doing it, and I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, what you gotta realize, you gotta take the blinders off for a second and realize anything can happen at any given time. It's football,
you're looking at what ifs. You're looking at what ifs. I'm looking at the players.
I'm not looking at what ifs. You're making me talk about what ifs. You said
listen.
Without that,
I'm
couldn't
saying,
happen.
I'm saying
yes, it could have happened. It could have not been Jalen Carter.
Because it happened with these players.
It still could have happened with other players.
It's all about mentality, bro. We know that we played football. It's all about mentality. Think about it. Okay, let's make it more plain, right? Do you think that Saquon Barkley would have 2,000 rushing yards, plus rushing yards in 2024 if Tyler Steen was the starter?
It's possible.
No, it's not.
It is. You got me another one. It's possible.
No, it's
Saquon was a beast that year. I'm telling you, the beast.
Right, because
and Becton, I will say this. Becton was a beast too that year, and the run game was a lot more effective with Becton. But what I will say is the way that Lane Johnson, Mailata, Landon, and Jergy paid in 24, it probably could have went that way with another right guard. You never know.
No. Mekhi Becton, that's how he got paid, bro. Because he was a pivotal point of that offensive line.
But if he was so good, why we didn't sign him back then? He's been a free agent.
Stupidity. That was a bad move.
No. It wasn't a bad move. We couldn't pay him. We just couldn't pay him.
We couldn't pay him. And who's starting? C starting, and we didn't re-sign.
But do you think? But do you think? But listen, hear me out. And this is a question to both of you guys. Do you think that Mekhi Becton will still be the same under this new offensive line coach?
I think this new offensive
Stoutland not here no more, y'all.
I think he could.
Okay.
Because I heard Lane talk about it's easier for them now.
No, it's easier for him. He's 35 years old.
No, it's for them. Because you're doing more double teams together. You're doing more moving together. Like, people don't realize we played bully ball for 5 years. Okay? The talent won those games the last 5 years. The talent won that Super Bowl. It wasn't the coaching. The talent won
Well,
it. Not
Jalen
only,
Carter don't have talent, so I
no, no,
mean,
no, no, no. I never
I
said
want
Jalen
to,
didn't have talent. He's a very talented
uh,
guy.
Hey,
He's a
hey,
very
like I
talented
mean,
guy.
and it
Okay.
don't have nothing to do with
no, no,
talent, do it? Like
It's,
okay, my
with
bad.
Jalen
no,
Carter,
no.
it's like, is he good? Is he great? Or is he generational? I'm saying he's a good
Hey,
football player. I'm saying he has a possibility to be great still because he's so young. But is he generational talent right now? No, he's not. He's not. He's not even the best ET in the league right now. You have to be at the top of the board to be at the top of the board. You can't just project somebody at the top of the board just off his
That's a
name.
fact. That's a fact. I
You
agree.
know what I'm
Chris
saying? You got to
Cooper,
put in the
the
work.
offensive line coach, he was at Minnesota from 2022 to 2025.
And that offensive line
Oh
coach,
man,
I think Steen already knows that if he don't come out this year and do good, his ass is gone. Like we ain't gonna hold him up no more. Like Steen was supposed to be good. He started out alright. Becton stole his job. We won the Super Bowl. It's Steen's size. So I actually got a clip of him today. When I seen him today, he did look a little bit bigger. If he got a little bigger, that can help him out this year. Like someone just said, Steen's gonna be a Pro Bowler this year. It's possible because he comes from a tree. He comes from Alabama, man. That's like the cream of the crop, the best school to come out of playing football. Like you learn the most there. Stalin's from Alabama. Like they breed offensive linemen there. So like he
hmm
was a little
You're making a
undersized,
point.
yes. He was a little
You're making a
undersized,
point.
but now he possibly could be that Pro Bowler because it's been some years. He should know by now he need to gain some weight and get a little bit better.
let me throw this out here. In
And I still want
2025,
Bell.
Cooper.
To be honest, I want Bell to win that right guard spot. To be honest with you, the Rook because he's another big Becton type guy. He's a big Lawler type guy. I would love to see Bell go beat Steen out. Hey, sorry, I gave Steen love for a second, but I want to see Bell actually get that right guard spot, but in the training camp.
Oh, you good? Hey man, I just want to throw this out there. Cooper oversaw a Vikings offensive line that was led by Brian O'Neill, who earned the third highest Pro Football Focus grade, 84.9, among NFL right tackles after allowing the fifth fewest pressures, 23, tied at his position for a minimum of 400 pass block snaps. He also mentored O'Neill to his second career Pro Bowl during the 2024 season when the veteran finished with a career high 82.1 PFF pass block grade and surrendered only 2 sacks. He managed an offensive line that protected the fifth best passing attack, 256 yards per game in 2023. His unit also blocked for the sixth ranked passing offense, 264 in the NFL, and helped Dalvin Cook total the second most rushing yards of his career in 2022. So this guy is not a slouch,
No,
that we got in replacing Stoutland. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
I don't think he's a slouch at all. I don't think Chris Cooper is a slouch at all. It's just a simple fact. Like when we sit up there as Eagles fans, we talk about Stoutland University. I don't think that he's going to take that extra oomph to basically get these guys not only just drafted, but also be equipped to take over that role. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that, with Stoutland, his most recent successful year in 2024, when we had Steen supposedly had been the starter, but then we signed Mekhi Becton, and Mekhi Becton throwing up and all throughout training camp. He actually stood up. He gained that rapport with Saquon Barkley, and he helped out their running game. I remember one of the games. I only remember what game who we were facing, but Jalen Hurts actually went with his lead. And that's the whole thing about it. Now, I know that Lane Johnson alluded to, because I remember when Jason Kelsey was at center, and then we were trying to have Cam Jurgens at the right guard. Lane Johnson didn't want that. He wanted a bigger guard next to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Now you got Tyler Steen having to learn in 2026, having to learn how to have that help pressure for Lane Johnson, so blocks could be there. On top of all the other blocks that we have on the offensive line. Regardless of tight end, a wide receiver, or so forth. Because I watched a lot of tape on certain things that possibly could be in Charmaine's offense. But yeah, I feel like that Tyler Steen. I'm not going to say that he could be one of those guys that could be a Pro Bowler or whatever like that. What I can say is I think Tyler Steen will step up, because he's already got the spotlight on him from Harvey Roseman saying his name in the press conference, Nick Sirianni saying his name in the press conference, and then it's just now he's going to be the potential starter. Yeah. So he has to really be that guy. He has to be that guy next to Lane Johnson, next to Cam Jurgens coming off an injury. He has to be, because if not, then we're looking for another right guard. One thing about Harvey Roseman and Jeff Lurie, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this on this subject, that they don't play about the trenches. They don't. So
no, not at all.
If Tyler Steen is not it, because we put the spotlight on him and he's not it, then yeah, we gonna have to
I'm gonna see Bell play.
Draft a right guard. No. Bell is not ready yet. He's big.
I think he's
ready. All that pause.
He's
not ready yet, BG. He's not.
Pagard is easier. Pagard is easier. They'll tell you that. He's not ready to replace Lane Johnson, no.
No.
Did you give up 0 sacks last year? 0 sacks. He made it to the college football championship and 0 sacks. But he played the best of the best in college all year long. I know college is different from both, but most of the good pro players are young college stars from the past. So, like I said, he might not be ready to take over Lane Johnson, the best defensive ends in the game, but if he throw his big ass in there at guard, that's a lot, right? Especially right next. It's kind of the same thing we do with Jerky. Threw him right next to Jason Kelce for a year. You're learning from your protege. He's right next to you. So things you do wrong, he can remark, and then basically you're just tag teaming with Lane Johnson. Both of you guys, it's just like same thing as Becton. That's why I think he could play this year. I think if Bill,
BG, you're making my point that
why he can play
when that happened. When that happened, when it was Jason Kelce and Cam Jurgens on the right guard. Who was the defensive line coach?
Stoutland.
My point exactly. Now, Chris Cooper, I look, he had a lot of time in the game and all that, but he's not Jeff Stoutland to the point where those things happen.
I don't know about that, dude. Good football players are good football players, especially when it comes to offensive line. If you're a good offensive lineman, you're a good offensive lineman. I had small offensive linemen that were great. I had big offensive linemen that were great. If you're just a talented player, Jason Kelce picked, Jerky to be his replacement. He knew he was a good football player at the end of the day. He knew that he was going to replace him, whenever he decided to hang it up. So he didn't need a Jeff Stoutland to tell you that he's a good football player. He was always a good football player. He's been a good football player his whole life.
Jerky. Okay. Nah, bro. Nah, man. You hey, bro. You tripping, man.
Even Stoutland, listen. Even to put on that point, Stoutland, we still ain't had the number one offensive line. We've had it, once in the last 4 years? Number one.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the Eagles always draft good offensive linemen.
And they had a number one offensive lineman.
When Donovan McNabb was there, we had the big boys in the trenches. But you still not giving this man Stoutland knows what he's doing.
Big people beat up little people. Stoutland loved this big offensive lineman.
Yeah, and big offensive lineman. Hey, you have
the best offensive line in football. There still means there's other freaking offensive line coaches that had the best offensive line in football that wasn't the Eagles. If you go through the last 5 years, we probably once had the best offensive line in football. Like we're always among the top 3, 4, 5 offensive
Yeah,
lines
and
in
that's
football.
also because of
But that's
Howard.
what Stoutland being the best offensive line coach, but not having the best offensive line. Come on.
What's the next topic? What's the next topic for tonight?
Before I get out of here, I want to ask DV about the disrespect that Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper regime. Like, these guys are getting disrespected.
Hold on, we got a comment right here. Um, Dickerson had all them surgeries. Cam has a banged up back. Lane 54 years old. We can't run it like like 2024. I agree with that totally. Like I agree with that totally. So it was time for a change, and I do feel like Stoutland. Hey, you got them old school coaches. It's hard for them to change because they only know one way, and they
Yeah.
feel that their way is the best way to win. And a lot of times they don't want to change their strategies. They don't want to change their game plan. So instead of adjusting with the new offensive coordinator with Sean Mannion, he said, "Hey, give me my walking papers." And
Right.
it hurt, but I mean, like, coaches like to have power. They like to have a say so in the offense. And, it's not going to be the Eagles' offense is going to look totally different this year. The whole blocking scheme and everything. And that may have meant Stoutland was going to have to get a little bit uncomfortable and learn something new as well, or freshen up on something that he already was familiar with.
Yeah, that's true. Like, how coaches are, they stuck in their ways. It's worked for so many years. Why would they think it wouldn't work? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even you see like a lot of these like Mike McCarthy head coaches, like they're in their ways. It takes a coach to really put his ego aside and learn from the new age, to develop into a better coach. I think that's what Vic Fangio did when he was the dominating. There's a little point in there where he wasn't so dominating, and he adjusted, and now you've seen him dominate again. You know what I'm saying? Like Andy Reid, 5 straight, NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl, as the play caller, and realized after that, the next year we went, 4 games, he got fired, and he went to Kansas City and he let the enemies take over play calls. You know what I'm saying? Just became a head coach. He had to learn, he had to adapt. And now I think you see him still sometimes. I think when the enemy left, he came back and called plays again and actually had a good season. Um, it's all development, man. Like coaches and players both develop at the same time. Like, there's one coach at this level, there's another coach at that level. But at the end of the day, there's 32 teams, and as long as you're in the top 10 of the 32 teams at any position, at any freaking coaching ranking, you're a baller, dude. Like you one of the best in the league. And there'll be people that are better than you, and there'll be people you be better than throughout that whole process. So I do think Stallin's the best, you know. Wish him well in his off season. Yeah, like he's an old guy. And he's been tinkering on leaving before. Like, I remember that year, I think it was the last Saban year at Alabama. He actually wanted to go back and coach with Saban over there. And we ended up bringing him back for another year or two. So it is what it is. I do think that there's plenty of capable offensive lineman coaches. So, like I said, the top 10, you give me any one of the top 15 teams with our roster and our talent that we have on the offensive line. You got to realize, just like we said with the trenches on defense, that's how we did it on offense too. We remember how many years we were just offensive linemen, offensive linemen, offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? First round, we wanted some skill position player, and it was offensive
Chip
linemen.
Kelly.
You're like,
So what happened to the line while Chip Kelly
still
was
go
at
get
it?
one of these fucking skill position players, and it was offensive linemen. You're like,
Did
all
they
right,
have an offensive line while Chip Kelly was there?
yeah, Lane Thompson. That's when he started.
Okay. All right. How many games they won?
Chip won 11 his first year.
Okay. What about the second year?
How many years has Chip?
It matters. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like, hey, you
But
just can't say like.
you can't even bring Chip in. Chip did a bunch of stupid stuff that no other coach will ever
Well,
even
I
imagine
mean, you
doing.
sit up here like,
Like
hey,
he
you just
traded
sit up
all
here
his
acting
star
like if you
players
got players,
away.
you give
He
me
would
the
have
top
left the
players, you take
trade
our
off.
roster. No, bro, it ain't that easy. You make it sound like you can just like everybody can just coach. No, bro, you have to you can have all the talent in the world and you got a trash coach and you will
If
not
Chip
win,
Kelly,
brother.
since you brought up the Chip Kelly thing, if he never traded all of our star players away, we would have still won. Wouldn't we have? That's why everybody hate him, right? Because he traded our star players away. It wasn't because of coaching. Because when you don't have no more star players, because you trade them all away for bullshit. Ex Oregon players, has been players. That's gonna make your teams trash. That's
Okay.
What's
Hey, we got a comment out
the reason
here.
why the reason why the reason why
My bad.
we don't like Chip Kelly is because he tried to take control of everything because the Eagles gave him control. This is the reason why we got stuck with Nick Sirianni in the first place because and Doug Peterson, that situation happened the way it happened because they gave control to Chip Kelly, which means Shady's gone, D-Jack is gone, and so forth. So now we gave that situation to Chip Kelly. So now when we sit up there and say, okay, we got to sign Doug Peterson back, bet, okay, Doug Peterson want his guys here. Absolutely not. We're not doing that again. Then when you got Nick Sirianni's a yes man. Let's be honest. He's a yes man. I respect the hell out of Nick Sirianni because he brought the winning culture back to the Eagles organization. But he's a yes man. And he messed up so many times being a yes man, and then they gave him, anytime we successful, they gave him the rope. He hung himself with it. Think about it. He sat up there and hired his friend Kevin Patullo last season. He sat up there and took over the Brian Johnson situation. He took over that. So he did hang himself a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But us winning in 2024, yes, we got an extension. One thing about the Philadelphia Eagles, they don't want to be wrong. And that's going back to the JC situation. Think about it. We could have traded him for Michael Parsons. That was in the rumor board.
Yeah.
We could have traded him for Myles Garrett. That was in the rumor board.
That's
I already knew that we were going to sign or extend Jalen Carter. I already knew that because he was in too many trade talks that the Eagles and Howie Roseman and rumored, because Howie Roseman didn't come out and say this himself. We already knew that he was going to be an Eagle, but for how much and what cost? That's where my argument is with the signing of Jalen Carter. Now, Jalen Carter is arguably, or is, in my opinion, the best defensive player that we have on the defense. Like I said, Q was second. I would say the most meaningful one is Zach Bond, only because Zach Bond took over when N'Kobe Dean wasn't there as the green dot. You need that middle of the field general to be able to do what needs to be done and be that voice. But Jalen Carter is the one that gets the thing rocking. Think about it. We got Jonathan Grenard. Jonathan Grenard, first thing was, hey, I'm ready to work with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. That was his first thing when he got on the podium. That's what I'm saying, that yes, I understand the whole logic of yesteryear and all that, but things change. We got to evolve with the times. And the times is that Jalen Carter right now, because he got paid, where I'm at with it, is that he has to show us he's worth that $38 million a year. He has to. He has to, because Jordan Davis showed us last season that he was eligible for that. He was committed to losing weight. He was committed to having a good season, and we paid him for it. Saquon Barkley, 2,000 yards, We extended him for a couple more years. He showed us that. Zach Bond had a breakout season. We thought that when we first signed him, I don't know an Eagle content creator that sat up there and said that Zach Bond was going to be the it factor for us that season. What happened was Zach Bond sat up there and played past everybody's potential, and then all of a sudden, he's in Defensive Player of the Year talks. He's over 100 plus tackles and all that. And he made an interception in the Super Bowl. He was an impactful voice in the Super Bowl. We've seen that in videos. So we really don't know what we got until we know what we got. And yes, it's right for me to critique JC, but at the same time, I know how great he could be. It's a lot of bad kids out here in any major city that has potential, but they just a bad kid. But if the bad kid know that, okay, they got the support of the organization, got the support of other players, got the support of his brothers that he played with in the collegiate realm in Georgia, that dude is going to have to put on. He got the Eagles got the upper hand, whereas though that, hey, we're going to have to trade him, and if he doesn't produce, we did it before with AJ Brown. We double dipped with AJ Brown. AJ Brown sat up there and said that we didn't do we weren't playing the type of offense that he wanted to play in. Fast forward, now he's talking about the whole same situation with New England a little bit, and we didn't even get to a first meaningful snap of football yet. You know what I'm saying? So with JC, I feel like that he deserved the money only if he shows us that he deserved the money. I wanted us to pay him $38 million if he sat up there and had more than 13 sacks in the first 3 years. You know, and I know sacks is not the only stat for a defensive tackle, because defensive tackles can lead to more sacks than a little bit. He can help out a lot with Jonathan Grenard getting the double-digit sacks again in his first stint with the Eagles, first year stint. He can sit up there and help Jalen Hunt. He can sit up there and help Nolan Smith. What I'm saying is that Jalen Carter now is in improve-it mode of that contract instead of did he deserve it? Because I feel like that he didn't. I think we paid a little bit too early. I think that we could have waited until mid-season. I think that this was all Drew Rosenhaus, and I'm not a huge fan of Drew Rosenhaus, but I feel like that this was a huge Drew Rosenhaus, like, okay, pay right now, because I want to give a shout out to James Simone on Twitter. He was the first one that actually tweeted out, like, Jalen Carter, that's the tweet, that's it. And everybody's like, hey, what do you know? And then Joe Castro, shout out to him too. He said the same thing. So that's how we knew that something was going on with JC, regardless if it was extension or anything else. I want JC to be successful with the Eagles, but I want JC to earn it. Yeah. And if he don't earn it, I want Howie Roseman to be like, okay, look, we gotta, flip this to the point where we're getting picks for him, whatever. If anybody out there still got that high standard of JC to the point where he's worth a top edge rusher or in picks like he was with Dallas, because Jerry Jones wanted his ass, and just like who else? The Browns. Now, when you talk about Myles Garrett didn't have no choice but to do something with the Browns. The Browns is the Browns at the end of the day. The Browns is the Browns at the end of the day. They didn't have really anybody really to pay. The defense was the defense, but the defense couldn't win them the division, couldn't have them in winning mode or anything. They needed a quarterback. So,
DB,
with Myles Garrett, go ahead.
Saying that, DB, what you saying right now You just made me think about something. The next question would be: say Jalen Carter makes it to week 8,
Mhm.
2 sacks. Yes, he's been broke a couple of double teams, had a couple plays, and how you say he need to earn it. It's looking towards he's not earning it. Before the
Okay.
trade deadline, would you go out and get Crosby now? 'Cause you already got the contract. Because you know those kind of trades do happen before. You know, you see players that if you got big name players, you know, one needs a new contract, the contract kind of gets done first, but then they still end up getting traded. Like, do you think like how we say we need to see him earn it? If he doesn't earn it, then Howie Roseman should go ahead and make that trade for a Crosby because you're not getting Garrett, but you can get a Crosby still.
Cool. So let me ask you a question on top of that question. Okay. I'm not gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna just put it out there. You're in the you are close to the biddy or in the biddy now. You're in the city now. Would you go to an auction and get a car because it looks good? Because it's been looking good for a minute, but then you already know it. The wear and tear is horrible. Would you do that? Or would you get something that is like got potential and you can actually build on it and know that what you're getting from that, he's learning from that and growing from that? Because we gotta look at it. We all of us guys is probably 40 plus on this panel right now, right? Well, I'm 39, but I'm about to turn 40. But
don't be telling our age like that.
No, I'm not telling y'all age. I'm just saying, right? We gotta look at it from that standpoint that these young guys mental. Think about it. These they coming from smaller markets and smaller towns, because not counties up like up here, but towns. Whereas though they didn't have this much money, exposure, things like that. Yes, they play for Georgia, but Georgia, Atlanta, the Georgia Bulldogs. Honestly, in recent years, they are bigger than the Atlanta Falcons. They are, right? So they know, right. So what I'm saying is they're coming from these markets, whereas though they're in big markets like Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, do I dare say Kelly Ringo, and all them. They're coming from these smaller markets, whereas though that they're gonna have to put on. They're gonna have to put on, and now you're looking at Jalen Carter as he's a potential guy or whatever like that, but our potential guy that can actually take over the defense. But you got to think like he's a major part of this now because he's the top paid person on the defense now, and this payout does buy in because the Denzel Ward just got a 2-year extension. So now that plays in the fiddle of the Qs or the Coops. So now you got to think about the future. Like that's where I'm at with it. You know, I think that it was too soon. Yes, if it was, to answer your question, because I know it was long-winded. To answer your question, if it's 8 weeks, he has 2 sacks, and he's not living up to the potential, do I pay him then and now? No, I don't. I'm not paying him that now because
No. It
still
wasn't.
gotta,
Do you pay Jalen? Then I'm saying we already paid him. Now you're at week 8 and he's not earning that bag. Do you make the trade?
so
Get it Crosby?
so
Because
where
like
I'm at with it,
a lot of
because
people,
knowing football, but
I would say a lot of people give me this whole broken down Crosby thing because of the Ravens thing. But you gotta realize the Ravens thing was like what 4 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the beginning of the year. So obviously then he might not been ready. I'm pretty positive coming around training camp now, he's probably ready to go again. You know, and that's another guy that's guaranteed getting you double digit sacks, guaranteed getting you like, 16 sacks a game. He plays with that energy. He plays with that thunder. You know, everybody on the Raiders love him because of that energy that he does bring. I'm saying like week 8, JC got 2 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Some pressures, but he still looks like last year's JC, which you made the phone calls to the Oakland and make the trade to make our team better this year.
No. No, because Max Crosby, generational talent, just like I feel like JC is, but JC got to get out of his own way. That always been my issue with JC, that mentally with the whole situation that happened before he got drafted, and then his hot headedness to the point where he's anything that think about it. Clint Hurt had to hold him back in that Saint. I think it was the Saints game, and he's going back and forth with Nick Sirianni. The lack of basically coming in well conditioned and in shape. And we can talk about Spitgate all we want, but let's face it, that doesn't happen if Dak Prescott didn't say anything to him to lower him, and then also spit himself. A lot of people didn't see that, but when you watch it back, he spit himself between his two linemen, and then Jalen Carter spit. He asked him, and Dak Prescott asked, "Hey, did you spit at me?" He said that to Dak, and then he spit, and then that's when the refs caught it. Certain things like that can't happen when you're a pivotal piece in that defense. It can't happen. So now the Eagles is looking past that, looking past the injuries, looking past all that. Now I'm like, Jalen Carter has to earn this. He has to earn that $38 million a year. He has to earn us. Before even that, we picked up the 5th-year option to see, hey, what this is. That's why I think it's crucial for Eagles content creators and Eagles fans to know that even though that we just extended Jalen Carter, that doesn't kick in for another 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So now Javi Roseman got a little wiggle room for the Coops and then the Qs, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Because let's face it, Reek Woolen is getting the bag for 1 year, and also the Octavian Wicks. Those two bags could be
Wicks 2 years.
Huh?
Wicks 2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years now because they extended them.
Yeah.
But they get in the bag for joining the roster, but they could easily be replaced.
I think
after this year.
I don't think we need to replace Woolen. I think we need to resign him. I know it's gonna be hard to resign cornerbacks, but if anything, like you free up more money for the longer the contract is. So we can resign him for like a 2-year, 3 more year, 2-3 more year deal while we resign. You gotta realize we don't have to sign Q. We get a 5th-year option with him. Coop, we're gonna have to resign probably next year. And then Woolen, you can give him a 2-3 year deal because he's not the best cornerback on our team. Like he would know his agent couldn't go into that. His agent, even if he has a great year this year, his agent couldn't literally go to the table and be like, "Hey, we want number 1 money," because he's like, "Hey, dude, we got Quinyon Mitchell who just locked down every number 1 cornerback on our, every team we played all year long. We got Cooper DeJean that locked down pretty much every number 2 slot, tight end. And then, so your guy's not going to get that big time payday over here. Now, if you want to get a big time payday, you can go to a new team. But if we win a Super Bowl this year, you might think you might want to keep winning championships and stay with team. I feel like we need to resign Woolen. Like, I think Woolen's going to be a huge. I love Adoree Jackson, but I think he's going to be a huge upgrade at that cornerback spot. That's why, and it's going to change Q's. It's going to change Cooper's position. He's going to be so good that Cooper's going to become a safety by the end of the year. He's going to be only safety.
So, Reek's situation is has nothing to do with Cooper DeJean's situation. The one person I feel like that has something to do with Cooper DeJean's situation, because I did see Andrew McCuba's interview, and he was talking about how it means a lot if Cooper's back there because he's a good voice in the secondary and all that. Is Michael Carter II. I think Michael Carter II plays a major role in Cooper DeJean playing safety if need be full time if Marcus Epps or Michael Carter II doesn't pan out or get injured. God forbid, knock on wood, because I don't wish that on anybody. But I think Cooper DeJean's situation is already set in stone with Vic Fangio. I don't think that Reek Woolen's situation right now plays a major part. I think you're saying sitting up there saying that Reek Woolen should sign an extension. I don't think that Reek Woolen should think about it. Last postseason, we thought as Eagles fans we would never hear the name Josh Jobe again. But Josh Jobe took some of those snaps in postseason. Josh Jobe was a major part of that defense in the secondary of the postseason. Reek Woolen got some of those snaps throughout the season taken from him from Josh Jobe. So we can't really talk about Reek Woolen. Like, Reek Woolen is a great talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that he's here and all that. But like we were just talking about JC, he's on a prove it deal, and we paid him double-digit millions to be in a part of that prove it deal, and he knows he's a part of the prove it deal. That's why I love the fact that I see the videos of him working out. I see him sitting up there saying he got something to prove and all that. I want to see it on the field, man. Talk is cheap with us right now, because right now, let's face it, with the loss of AJ, with the loss of or with the rookie offensive coordinator coming in with some vets in the positional sense of the coaching staff, we got something to prove, and we got a lot of chips on our shoulder. And Reek Woolen is one of them. Tavian Wicks is another one of them. We got so much to prove, to the point where Reek Woolen has to prove that he wants to stay here. He wants to be here and be a part of that secondary. If not, then we could always draft first round again a cornerback. I don't know what's coming out in 2027, but we can always draft again.
Fangio kind of stamped this
years.
guy. Fangio kind of stamped him. Woolen.
Yeah.
You know, right. And Fangio stamped you kind of like you didn't eat. You know what I'm saying? That guy. So I don't feel like we need to really worry about Woolen. Like, I think his skill set compared to a Fangio defense fits in beautifully. You know, like, who did we hear the whole off season about? Woolen locking down Devontae, Woolen locking down Lemon, Woolen locking down whoever the hell's out there.
He has to.
Woolen has to, because he's going to get a lot of targets his way this year. You know, people are going to shy away from Q, but Woolen is going to get that, and he's going to show up and show out, dude. Like, the defense is too good for him not to. You know, like, in certain situations, the situation can become better than the player itself. You know, situations make players, to be honest with you. You know, you look at that Super Bowl year with Patrick Robinson, has been veteran, come to our team, balled out, because guess what? He had a bunch of talent around him. You know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't have to be a star cornerback. He just had to do his damn job. And that's what kind of roster we have this year. A do your damn job roster. Okay? Because you don't need to be Superman on this team. You just need to do your job. If you do your job and everybody does their job, this is an easy season for us. Like, we have more talent than the rest of the league. People don't realize that. We do. Like, we're top 10. I'm trying to think what position you can say that we're not top 10 in. We don't have a player that's top 10 in. Quarterback. Jalen Hurts definitely number one. If you want to argue top five,
to you,
not to the world, dude. Like, to the world, he's number one. Like, you gotta be a retard, not to think that he's not the best quarterback in the league. Like, yeah, he had a down year with a shitty offensive coordinator and a hurt offensive line and a receiver that wanted to sabotage his career. Okay, it took all that. He still won 11 games. And still had one of like the highest percentages in terms of deep balls and red zone. And stats that do matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude's a winner. He don't know how to do anything but win football games. At the end of the day. Sirianni, you hate on him, but he's a winner. He knows how. All he does is win football games. We're on a roster where I told everybody the difference as an Eagle fan. You gotta understand. It's one thing. We won the Super Bowl off of talent, not coaching. The last 5 years of winning, going to the playoffs every single year, has been talent, not coaching. But this year, this is a different year. It's about to be talent with coaching. And that's another level we haven't even seen as Eagles fans. Imagine what I'm talking about. Vic Fangio. You heard Bond come out. Year 3. He's doing things he's never done before. He's changing up things he's never done before. Because you're year 3 of a system, my guy. It's been dominating for the last 2 years. We won a Super Bowl in his first year. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine 3 years into it. All these players that are all pros, Pro Bowlers. 3 years in. That's scary. That is scary. If you're an offense coordinator, you should be scared about what's about to happen to you on defense. Because now you can't even think about what's about to happen because guess what? He's hit a level that he hasn't even hit before. You know what I'm saying? Because now I got the same defense, same young Bulls. I watched them from rookies winning Super Bowl as rookies. Coop, rookies, Super Bowl. You got these guys in year 3 after becoming the first pair of first team All Pros the Eagles ever had. Come on, my guy. Like, this team's about to be deadly on defense, for one. For two, the offensive guys. I wanted to get into this too. Like, who do you really think is going to be that receiver 2? You know what I'm saying? Because I love Mekhi Lemon. I think as a rookie, he's about to do some numbers that no one expected because everybody is kind of like, AJ's gone. They shouldn't do this anymore. AJ's gone. It shouldn't look like this anymore. AJ's gone. Devontae Smith is on the same trajectory he was in Alabama. He had star players in front of him all the way up until his Heisman winning season. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing here. We drafted him. He did good. But we had bum-ass receivers. So we had to go get AJ. AJ was better at the time. So he got the back end of the deal. But the last 2 years, Devontae's been our number 1 receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the numbers, he's been our number 1. We just continue to put AJ there because he has a bigger name. And I'm not about names. I'm about ballers on the field. Devontae's about to light the league up this year. Is it going to be a JSN year everybody keeps saying? I hope so. I don't know if it's going to be that big because we got other ballers. This is going to be the first year out of all these offensive coordinators that we've had that we do not need to feature one guy. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to feature him. The whole time we've been featuring AJ, Devontae's been the sidekick. It's been good. Talent beating freaking scheme. But this year we're going to have scheme. Meaning Jalen's going to really hike the ball and throw whoever's open. And we got some real ballers. Like I said earlier today, I was like, if you look at our roster of receivers, you got Devontae. Easily can get you 1,500 this year. Easily. Because he's open on most of his routes he run. 1,500 is nothing for him to get, in his development. You got a rookie, Mekhi Lemon, that I really feel like can get 1,000 yards, but he might come up a little short, because of Devontae's success this year. And he's more like your Devontae Smith from last year. Then you got Wicks, who I think early in the season, like Mekhi's not going to probably start till week 5, 6. It's going to be Wicks and Devontae Smith because he knows the offense. He knows the offense. And if you look at the Green Bay the last 4 years, there's been a year where Wicks was the leading receiver. But the way they had set it up over there, every year there was a new leading receiver. 1 year is Watkins, 1 year is Reed, 1 year is Wiggs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes back and forth with those guys. So I think Wiz is going to be out here trying to make it be known that he is a 1B. And I think he got the talent to do it. I look at Hollywood Brown as being like your what year was that? 16, 14? Kevin Curtis, the guy that there's gonna be like 2, 3 games this year. He's gonna have like 150 yards, just all off deep balls. You know what I'm saying? All off deep balls. Just bombs away. Jalen Hurts gonna have bombs away. Boom, boom. The best deep ball thrower in the NFL, Jalen Hurts, is gonna hit Hollywood Brown on a bunch of different. You know, man, I see like 3 games where he goes off, and it's just gonna be like bombs over Baghdad. Boom. You still got Goddard. I hope Goddard can get some more yards with those touchdowns he had from last year. I think Stowers, the rookie, is going to show up. He's going to be the Goddard when Goddard was a rookie behind Ertz. You know, Ertz is still the guy. Goddard's going to make his name. That's going to be the same way as Stowers. This running back room, Saquon's not getting 2K. I promise you, Saquon's getting 15. You know what I'm saying? With a healthy offensive line, that's all. Like people don't realize that was the major part. Forget skill positions. Forget skill positions. The major part of last year's team, if you look at it as a whole, because our defense wasn't really that bad last year. It was our offensive line was depleted. You had Lane Johnson. You had Landon Dickerson. You had Cam Jurgens all hurt. 3 out of your 5. My a lot of plays. I think he made the Pro Bowl or something, but he wasn't that great last year. And Jerry made the Pro Bowl. He was definitely trash last year. You know, I don't know how those 2 things worked out, but it did. So you get a healthy offensive line, and that's what runs this offense. That's what Jalen Hurts couldn't run. Everybody's like, oh, well, he had a down season. He didn't run so much. He didn't run so much because Saquon was getting hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's how bad our offensive line was. To be honest, when I watched a lot of the games last year, it reminded me of the last year he was with the Giants when he was getting hit 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Boom. Say gonna get the ball, boom, down. Like, whoa, dude. Like, we're not the Giants offensive line. What's going on here? Those guys were hurt. That one move, because imagine we were 11-6 last year. Could you imagine if our offensive line never got hurt? Do you think the hate for KP will still be so strong? Or do you think the hate for anything that we hate from last year would be there if our offensive line was healthy? If we had all 5 of those bulls all year long, I promise you, we went 11-6. You're talking about 14-3. You're talking about first round playoff. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a lot of other things if we don't have an offensive line. Okay, we wouldn't hate KP. I promise you that. Not only even like his play calling scheme, but I can promise you it's a lot harder when you don't have your top 3 offensive linemen playing. You know? It's a lot harder to call up plays at game in, game out when you got trash ass linemen playing. Because Toth was a shell of himself last year. Fred Johnson wasn't as good as he was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys did not play at the highest level as they did before that. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta be realistic Eagle fans and realize this line is what leads us the way no matter what. Jalen Hurts is number 2 behind this offensive line. And guess what? Jalen can run the ball when the offensive line is healthy. Jalen can get past the ball when the offensive line is healthy. Everybody can function at a high level if this offensive line is healthy. So the only thing we should be wishing right now is that this offensive line stay healthy. But I do like how he did in the draft last year and this year, getting some backup offensive linemen in there for sure.
I never thought I would hear today, whereas though that KP would get some type of excuse of the offensive line being unhealthy. Now, look, I am all for the because being an Eagles fan for years and years and decades after decades, I was the Eagles fan when Cowboys, and that's a stray. But the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl. I've been an Eagles fan before that, but neither here or there. As far as the offensive line goes and all that, yes, I agree with you that the offensive line needed to be healthy. That's the engine that makes this offense go, regardless if it's running or having time to pass in the pocket and everything like that. But you cannot sit up there and blame a banged up offensive line on long drawn out are developing wide receiver routes. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame it on that. You can't blame it on having your top dollar running back running north to south, whereas though that he needs to be able to do whatever it takes, because the consensus on Saquon Barkley now is that he needs a healthy offensive line to grasp that number one running back in the league, which I don't see that, because I watch tape, and the tape, he make people miss yards, not yards after catch, but more so that when he's above the offensive line block, he can make people miss. We've seen that. Offensive line being banged up, that's the way that the offense was ran when the offensive line was banged up, when we had the Brett Tosin and the Fred Johnsons out there and all that. You got to know in game how to adjust. Hey, that's not Lane Johnson out there. Hey, that's not this person out there. This is not Cam Jurgens out there. We need to know in game the adjustments of the offense that we want to run. That's basically where we're at with it. So, yes, it's football. Any given Sunday, people can get hurt. This is football. This is the game they play. But at the same time, we cannot sit up there and just solely blame the offensive line being the fact that we blame KP. KP drew up four words. You know, that was in the voice of QB1. He said that wasn't him. That was KP. In week 4, in the earlier stage of that season, we seen QB1 sit up there and yelling at KP about certain things, and then we come back automatically. I wonder why. Then you sit up there and you think, okay, with KP / Nick Sirianni calling the plays, with Nick Sirianni sitting up there saying, okay, we're gonna run three tush pushes against the Giants. I think it was the Giants that he did that. 3 tush, like those things matter when it comes to the health of the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to just worry about in-game situations. You got to worry about the health of your players. Hey, can this player do it? If they're tough enough to do it, are they going to still focus on the fundamentals within the third quarter of a game or something like that? That's basically where it comes down to. So yes, we had a banged up offensive line and all that. That's bound to happen if you got them doing tush pushes. You got them.
No. That's not the reason why offensive line sucked. Offensive line sucked because we won the Super Bowl. That was a problem.
I'm getting to that. So that's what I was getting to. I was getting to it.
That's
in
the reason why.
2024, remember, we had a week 5 bye, right? In week 4, we were 2-2. Not Jason Cuss, I'm sorry. Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata all went to the office of the offensive coordinator at the time, and Kellen Moore, and Nick Sirianni said, hey, we need to run the ball more. The offense looked different. Of course, the defense looked different because they had their own agenda, but the offense looked totally different. And the offensive line put themselves on the line to get that. So they was the major force of why that offense, like especially 2,000-yard rusher, they was the main force. Think about it. Where were we at? NFC Championship or so. You had Cam Jurgens with a back injury. He comes
The
back.
whole
But
playoffs, Cam and Landon were hurt.
Landon Dickinson was playing center at the time. And he said, "Look, I'm good. I got a back injury too, but I'm going to bounce in halftime. You take over at halftime." He played through those injuries. That played the major factor. I agree. But the way the offensive line played last season, I felt like good offensive coaching, offensive play calling could have masked that. It could have.
No, you can't. You can imagine. You can amass injuries, man. Like that's the
No, not
that's
injuries. I'm saying like you don't
no,
have your
but what I'm saying
guys.
is like that is the blessing and the curse of a Super Bowl. You think about it, you go back 2 years before when we lost the Super Bowl. What
Mhm.
happened the next year? It was trash. It's
Mhm.
really hard to go back to back dominating for any team ever in
That's a
history.
fact. That's a
You
fact. But
know,
that wasn't on offense
but the
after
offensive
2023.
line,
On 2023, yeah,
Landon
that wasn't.
Dickerson, Landon Dickerson and Jerky was hurt before the playoffs. Before the playoffs, like they were hurt already.
But
Like
they
they
played
went,
through it.
they played through it to get to the Super Bowl to the point where you seen them last year. They had to go overseas to go find some special treatment to help them get through their injuries that they still were going through last year because they never rested from the Super Bowl. When you go to Super Bowl, you play in February. The draft is in April. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like you got a couple months. It's different from people that have been out since December. You know, people that have been out since early January. Like you a whole another month and a half, 2 months away from the last person that got the rest. If you got the rest that whole time, you got time to heal. They didn't have that. Like Landon Dickerson, to be honest with you, 100%, should have never even played last year until like week 5 or 6. For real. Like he should have been out. He was out there drinking beers, bringing beers to practice, and everybody, oh, he wants to play. He probably wanted to play, but he shouldn't have played. He wasn't good. He was not good when he came in there. They're playing off their ego. They weren't playing off of like, should they really be out there playing? They're out their ego, like, oh, I gotta do whatever I need to do for this team to make sure I'm not letting them down type shit. Like for real, Landon shouldn't have played till like week 5. He should have been on early season IR 4 weeks in. You know what I'm saying? Like let him get healed all the way because he dragged ass throughout the rest of the season. Jerky dragged ass throughout the rest of the season. Neither one of these guys should have been out on the football field early in the season. They should have both got sat early. You know what I'm saying? Let these young bulls
Yep.
come in, do what they got to do. Hopefully, we won enough games to get it. And if we didn't make the playoffs, whatever, because the health was matters with this offensive line. Like you can look at every year we went to the Super Bowl, our offensive line was dominating. Every year we won the Super Bowl, offensive line was dominating. The years that we didn't play so well, it's because the offensive line was hurt. You know, that's just trenches. So what we go back to
Let me
is Howie Roseman's number one thing: make sure your trenches are good, and that's what he
can I
does.
ask you can I ask you a question? When we talking about the interior of winning and all that, and that's what matters. Why do you think that the Bengals that year was so good that they went to the Super Bowl, even though they lost, but they went to the Super Bowl? Why do you think that?
They didn't. I don't think they had the best offensive line in the year,
No, they had one of the worst offensive lines, but
but
coached around
but
that.
it's not just coaching though. Like Joe Burrow's like one of the best throwers in the football period. Like Jalen Hurts came in second in Heisman to Joe Burrow. Like
Okay.
Joe Burrow's a fucking beast. For real, for real. Is he a
Not
better
taking that
thrower?
away from them.
Is he a better thrower than Jalen Hurts? Hell yeah, he is. Jalen Hurts is a better
How do we
quarterback.
know? How do we know?
Jalen, oh, we know that. Listen, there's dual threat quarterbacks. There's passing quarterbacks and running quarterbacks. It's always been that way throughout the history of football. And Jalen Hurts is one of the best dual threat quarterbacks. Winning these dual threat quarterback.
No. He's the best dual threat
The
quarterback.
best. Okay. The best dual threat quarterback. You know. But Burrow is a beast, dude. Like Burrow's like one of the best throwers when he's healthy. His problem is he don't be healthy enough. If Burrow was never hurt, we wouldn't even be saying Patty Mahomes right now is the best quarterback. If he was never hurt, you look at all these games. He's been out like 3 years. Came in the league the same year as Jalen. Out like 3 whole years from injuries because he gets hurt, and he's on a shitty team. So that doesn't help his injury history. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of throwing that rock, why do you think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football? Or one of the best receivers in football? T. Higgins, one of the best receivers.
Fantasy and sports betting, but go ahead.
That part too, but it's because of Joe Burrow. Like Jalen, I would never say Jalen's the best thrower in football in the NFL.
I'm not saying he is, but we got to stop downsizing the fact that because he's a dual threat quarterback that he can't throw the football. Sometimes
I don't downsize that. That's what makes him the best quarterback to me. Is that the fact that he can still throw the football. He's not the best thrower of the football, but he's good. And where the other guys lacking, he's way better. He's the strongest quarterback in the league. There's no quarterback out there squatting 600 pounds. You know what I'm saying? There's no big beefy ass quarterback. Even Josh Allen 6'5". I doubt he squats anything, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good thrower of the football. Like, Josh Allen's part of that throwing league. In terms of dual threats, man, Jalen Hurts is the best to ever do it. Dual threat.
Where do you have Jalen Hurts
right now? After
rank it.
If going today, if I had to go today from last year, Jalen's 3. But overall, Jalen the best quarterback in the league, man. Like, he's been that way. Like, the records that he's broken, like, people don't realize the record that he's already broken are timeless, man. You're not gonna see those records get broken for a while. Like, he breaks records that are like, whoa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dude's a beast in real life. Like, the winning percentage is immaculate to anybody. He's 11-0 against your favorite quarterback. 11-0 against your favorite quarterback. You can name him, and Jalen Hurts beat him. I know it's a team sport, but y'all like to do that head-to-head thing, and Jalen's played him.
It's not 11-0 because he did lose to Dak Prescott one time.
He's not part of that quarterback list I was talking about. What are you talking about, DB?
I'm just trying to make sense because I know
Dak is Romo 2.0. Dak got no clout in the playoffs. I'm talking about real championship quarterbacks. I'm talking about people that actually have the opportunity of winning the championship.
Cool.
You're
talking about the Patrick Mahomes, the Joe Burrows, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens, and so forth,
Herberts, right? And those guys.
Why we keep saying his name? Joe Herbert didn't even win a playoff game.
Herbert either.
Talking about it.
I don't like Herbert, but people like to throw him in there, so I always throw him in there.
We'll see, because he's not going to go to the playoffs this year either. But okay,
right.
But you're saying that the offense matters, the offensive line matters, and all that. I get that. To me, it does too. I think that offensive line matters, healthy offensive line matters, and all that. But I can combat that with bad coaching, bad play situations in game, and also just relying on a dominant play in the tush push. I can sit up there and say that when plays were called, like it was against the Giants, I believe, we called 3 straight tush pushes, 3 straight situational.
But you never said nothing about that the year before. We've done that before. We've
No,
done that.
as fans, we didn't, but we knew as players that played football before that was going to put a strain on our offensive
It
line.
only did why? Because our offensive line was trash. If our offensive line was good, if Jerky was good, healthy, if Landon was healthy, those are first downs. We had the best percentage of tush pushes ever the last 3 years before that. It's because those guys were not healthy. That's why we dropped to 64% or something like that. Because when you guys aren't healthy to do the damn play, you're not going to get to play. It all boils down back to the injury. It's
We
back
gotta
to the
be we
health.
gotta be fat. We gotta face facts, man. Most of those tush pushes and all that, man, it was penalties, and they kept calling it when they started to try to ban it.
Yeah, they did that. They do that. But I'll tell you this much: when all those guys were healthy, perfecting the play the way they did, we didn't get those calls. They
No,
knew the
they
league
were banged
knew
up.
they had to do it because they're looking at it like, damn, they don't even have a full offensive line. These are backup players, and they're trying to do the same play. This is our time. And guess what? You don't stump on star players. You don't stump if Landon Dickerson's in there. You know what I'm saying? Lane Johnson's healthy. Malata's healthy. You're not stumping on those star players. The league is a face. You know what I'm saying? You're not stumping on your star players. You're stumping on the players that don't matter. But when you got the Brett Toffs in there, when you got the Lampkins in there, when you got whoever the Fred Johnsons in there, you can stump on the play then. That's the when you actually need to stump on the play. Because now you can really put your mark on like, okay, flag. This one didn't have a perfection. But when you got a Jason Kelsey, Journey, Landon Dickerson, no, you're not stomping on that play, my guy. Like those guys are stars. Those guys are the best at their position. They're gonna get a lot more credit. It's like Michael Jordan effect in basketball. Michael Jordan gets every call. But if you're a rookie, it doesn't matter if you're a rookie that's talented as hell, you're not getting every call, my guy, because you're not Jordan.
Let
And
me
that's how
let
it
me
was.
ask you a question. How do you feel about Charmaine's scheme? Like, how do you think that this office would do with the Charmaine scheme?
I think it's about to be a scheme we never seen. It's about to be a team we never seen on offense. I think
Mm.
it's what we've been begging for the last 5 years since Nick's. Like I told you, 5 years of Nick winning has came with 5 years of talent leading the way. But that talent only can lead the way when you got other good coaches out there. 5 years is a long time for talent to lead the way. But we're done with that. Last year showed talent can't just lead the way. You need some coaching. And I think this is the perfect year for Manning to come in and change things up. And that's what he's doing. And I think that change up is going to bring, you got to realize, remember when Nick first started? That's how we went to the Super Bowl the second year. You didn't really know what to expect from the Eagles. We played bully ball. And people weren't really ready for him because they didn't think he was going to stay consistent in the bully ball scheme that he was playing. Fast forward 5 years later, that scheme's washed. Teams have seen it. For the last 3 years, we've had multiple defenses say they can predict the plays we're about to call before we even call them. So at that point, it's forget the play, forget the players that's going to perform the play, forget anything because the defense already knew what you were doing before you even started to play. Last year and the year before, definitely a lot of players came out and said it, but we didn't change shit. And that's a problem. So we needed this change. I do think the way it's looking, like no one knows until we get to September, right?
Right.
I do think the way it's looking, how everybody's saying it's new, it's fresh, it's different. It takes time to learn. Those are all positive signs. Like I tell people, like we're gonna be undefeated in the first 6 games, but it's not gonna be blowout. It's gonna be working through the system, but the system is gonna be so. It's what we've been waiting for the last 5 years, watching other teams play besides our team. We've been Eagle fans. We won a Super Bowl, but we all can deep down realize on Sundays there's a lot of even scrub ass teams that were playing calling better offenses than we were. We're like, damn, why can't we do that play? Damn, why can't we do that play? We're doing the same shit. And this is gonna be the first year it's not the same shit. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be more
So do you
productive.
think so are you confident that the Eagles with the vets that we have on offense, the offensive line, of course, and then also like the Dallas Goddards, the Jalen Hurtses, the Devontae Smiths, the Saquon Barkleys, Tink Bigsby, all of them that you feel like that they will pick up on it quickly?
Football's football, my guy. Especially when it comes to skill position. Running backs, I played running back all the way to semi pro. And it's pretty much the same. What I do is what I do. You're gonna tell me what hole to run to. 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. You know? What's my number, coach? For the play. I'm gonna do my thing once I get to there. But that's just how football is. It's basic, man. Like only when you complicate football is when you really think about things like that. When you keep it simple, man, like this is football, man. It's either people that can call plays or can't call plays. That's why there's only what a handful of top play callers in the league. Like I'm a guy that go off of percentages. Like I live life off of percentages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm at the age where I'm like, wait, you can't tell me something that's like 10% is better than something that's like 90%. You know, that's just don't fly. Is it possible? Yes. But am I gonna react towards it? No. In the NFL, there's literally like 5, maybe 6 awesome play callers. But I don't even know if it's that many to be honest with you. I go McVay, you know, you got Johnson, Ben Johnson, you got LaFleur, and then you got
McVay.
I already said McVay.
No, you said Matt LaFleur.
LaFleur, McVay, Ben Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
Shanahan, if you want to go there. That's 4. Like, and I can't really think of another one. That's 4. That's 4 like elite, like guys that can dominate you from their brain and play call schemes, scheme up things that are just gonna fuck you up. 4, the 32 starting teams. So you only can give me 4 that can
No, you
dominate, take over the
gave
game.
us 4.
Who else
You
can you
gave us
name?
4.
Who else can you name on that list?
You said Ben Johnson already. You said all those. You said I feel like the coach from the Bills that got fired, I don't think that he was that bad. I just think that he took the blame for Josh Allen's downfall.
And yeah, like those are all the great ones like that. Like if you look at all the fire coaches that were legendary, they're all ex-Eagle coaches. So their tape's already in the building.
I feel like this, right, about the Eagles offense. I feel like that is going to all come down to and answer your question like couple probably like 30 minutes ago. You asked this. I feel like that Dotavian Wicks is going to be wide receiver 2. I feel like because we're going to play a lot of wide receiver 3, we're going to play a lot of 2 tight end sets, 2 running back sets. Because I was asked this question on my live before. I think Mekhi Lemon is going to play a huge part in that slot role. And then even if we switch Dotavian Wicks with Mekhi Lemon and then have him run a certain route, Mekhi Lemon can hold his own on the outside, especially if it's a weaker wide receiver 2. That's basically what it is. I think that the offense is going to still be run first, I think Jalen Hurts is not going to have that superpower of him being taken away, regardless of his running the football for himself as a keeper, being that running threat, or being a deep ball thrower that we know he can be. I think that's what it is. But we got to be mindful that in this scheme is going to lead to more like yards after catch. This is why we got an Eli Stowers. This is why we got a Makai Lemon. And then we got that Tavian Wicks that knows the whole situation about this offense that he's been a part of in recent years. I feel like that we're putting too much more on the wide receiver room. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a ball out. He's going to have a ball out season. Everybody compare him to JSN and all that. I think that Devontae Smith is to go out there and be Devontae Smith that I know he could be. He played with Reagor. He played with other guys, like you said. He was behind guys that is Pro Bowlers in the NFL as we speak. So when you sit up there and say things like AJ Brown was the better wide receiver than Devontae Smith, I don't see that. I think that they were equal in their own right. I think that AJ Brown was more of the yards after catch type guy. He was a strength wide receiver, whereas though that he can break tackles, he can run the slant, the best of them. But I think Devontae Smith, when you needed those yards against the Bengals, for instance, against just last season against the Vikings, where he called his own number. He drew up that play, things like that. I think that they had it was a good 1-2 punch, as I should say, but I think they were equal at that point. But AJ Brown did bring that factor. The yards after catch mattered. And that's why I felt like that this year, when we knew that AJ Brown was going to be shipped off, we went yards after catch. They said QB1 couldn't throw through tight windows. AJ Brown went through not one, maybe two injuries in his lower leg or whatever like that, between the knee or so forth. He had to throw in tight windows to get AJ Brown the ball. You know what I'm saying? He was right. So now we got guys that can separate. We got, and you spoke on Hollywood Brown. I think Hollywood Brown is going to be that deep ball threat to the point where now he's taking off the top, whereas though he's dragging a safety along or something like that. And if the safety don't bite, it's a 1-on-1. I'm choosing Hollywood Brown every single time. I don't care how old he is. But it's so many things that could go on with this offense. It does stem from the health of the offensive line, but it also stems from them buying into what Charmaine is talking about, Chris Cooper is talking about, Josh Grizzard is talking about. It all plays a part, and this is the beauty of football. Whereas the coaching goes in hand in hand with the execution of what the defense, or not the defense, the offense is ran, but also what are they doing, what they are asked to do, and then if it needs to be audibles or anything like that, can Jalen Hurts be mentally prepared in game? Okay, the Tavia Wicks was the pick of where this ball is going to go, but I like the matchup with Makai Lemon. I like the matchup with Dallas Goedert. I like the matchup with Smitty. That's the things that I'm looking for within this offense, even though they said that Saquon Barkley is a part of the passing game as well. So that's where I'm at with it.
I think the running game is really going to come back to full form. Basically, he's going to get a lot more carries, a lot more touches this year. We're going to start seeing some more running backs screens. We ain't seen very many of those in Philadelphia in a while. I think that's going to be good to see again. And, sky's the limit with this team, man. Like, I really don't see a team that's better than ours, roster-wise. And all it takes is a scheme, because, like, defensive-wise, I don't think there's a scheme that's going to be better than our defense. Because Vic Fangio, getting to have these young guys for the third straight year in a row is going to be better than a lot of other defensive coordinators, period, whole lifetimes. And Sean Mannion got an easy route, Like you said, he has Gazar behind him. He has that what's that old
The Scooper.
quarterback? No, not only him, the quarterback that was for the Texans, their offensive coordinator. But he's Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
He got these guys behind him, man, and it's gonna be really hard for him to fail. Like Howie was smart. He knew what he was doing when he made this coaching staff. He was like, okay, I might give you a first time play caller that has everybody in the league saying that he's going to be that guy, but I'm also going to fill it up the room with veteran play callers. And I think that's the biggest difference for this year. And what we got to realize is this is still the Jalen Hurts offense. Like Jalen Hurts, like 3 years ago, I think it was, he's like, or just basically upgrade my offense, basically what he was saying. He's like, I learned that once you have so many offensive coordinators, you just find the things you like. And every year when you get a new one, you kind of start use that as the base and then you guys develop from there. So we're gonna still see a lot of the good plays that made us who we are, but we're also gonna see a lot of newness, sprinkled in there from this whole regime on the offensive side of the ball.
Do you think that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni is tethered in their success in their positions?
It will be, yeah. You know, I think they're always gonna be tethered together. You look at Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb, they were tethered together
Well, not
until
no
Reid.
more because Patrick Mahomes is in the picture now, so they don't
I'm
even
just
talk
saying,
about
like,
him.
while he was an Eagle, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
uh, that's how it worked out. And even now, with Patrick Mahomes, he's tethered to Patrick Mahomes until the end. I
Mm.
just think when you're a good coach and you're a good quarterback, that's your guy. That's your leader. Like everything that you're talking, he got to be talking it first. You know, like Jalen got to be speaking it first because that's your voice. The
Yeah.
quarterback's leader of the ship. Uh, he takes command and he guides his troops. So I think they're tethered together, man. Like if Jalen were to go bomb this year and have a horrible season, then I think Nick could get fired. You know, I think it's
Mm.
that. I think it's that
I don't think
extreme.
I don't think I don't think I don't think Nick gets
Just
fired
because,
because
but
he.
I think
uh,
it only happened on this team though. Like if this was the Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Rams or something, it wouldn't happen that way. But with this team, the pressure that always gets put on this team, man, you know, it's like they test our pressure boiling point every single year. Like they push the Eagles. The Eagles got to deal with a lot more stuff than the average football team. You know, that's crazy. Like we can actually pinpoint that we deal with a lot more stuff than other football teams out there deal with, and that's a big deal. Like the pressure point, like we fired people too soon before, we fired people too late before. We're such a pressure type football team where it's like it matters how much scrutiny. Like this year, I feel like if Jalen doesn't play great and we don't go to the playoffs, someone's getting fired. Whether it's Jalen getting traded or someone getting fired. And it's just rash. It's rash decisions all the time because the media makes it that way.
Who?
Like we can't be a calm football team. Like Pittsburgh that let you come coach for 13 years. The Bills let you coach for 12 years. We're not that type of team. We're like always on edge. We want to be the best. We strive to be the best. And when we don't see that, the media, the fan base are way too intense for owners to just be like, oh, we're gonna let it be. They gotta make a move. They gotta do something. They look at their pockets, and I think that. But I do think that, like, to answer your question though, Jalen and Nick's gonna be tethered, but it's gonna be good tethering. Like, I don't see these guys failing anytime soon. Like, our team's too good. Like, this roster is for our window is 4 years right now. And I'm not saying that window can get shrunken from certain players leaving or, getting hurt or whatnot. And I can't say that it can't extend from future draft picks. But right now, 3 to 4 years, that's a window of the talent that's on this roster today. So in the next 3 to 4 years, we gotta win a chip, if not two. Like, that is your fucking basement. Jalen Hurts is a playoff or a Super Bowl MVP. That's the floor and the ceiling for Jalen. Once that changes, if it goes to like, oh, he missed the playoffs. Oh, he made the first round. Oh, he missed the playoff. I promise you, Jalen's gonna be gone. Bye. But that's just because we've finally hit the promised land. Yeah, realize before 2022 or 2024, well, 17 really, if you want to think about it. Before 17, like, we didn't win no Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were that team. We're the Cowboys. We're the Niners right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, it's been so long since we've seen our team win anything. But once you get that, you gotta capitalize on it, like the Patriots, like the Chiefs. You gotta keep going with it. And the fact that we've been 2 out of the last 4 years to Super Bowl, or 2 out of the last 5 years, that shows you that we right there again. And like, our Roseman has no choice but to all, steam ahead. Win these chips, get these chips out of the way, because we don't know when the next drought will come. There's teams in the NFL that's never even won a Super Bowl, never even sniffed the Super Bowl. Now we're in that upper echelon. It's either we're gonna make our name. Phillies is one of the best football teams ever. Stop just talking about Pittsburgh. Stop just talking about Dallas. Stop just talking about the Niners. Stop just talking about Green Bay. You're gonna talk about Philadelphia in that era, or it's the biggest choke job of all time. So we have too much talent on this roster to win one Super Bowl.
I feel like the league figured this out. Going off of Art, what he just said, that
If you can see something in the comments, go ahead. Hey, sorry guys, my internet's been tripping with me. I can't get
It's
my
okay.
computer,
It's
but I
cool.
can't see none of y'all comments right now. Like,
The fact that
seeing her.
people are saying that the 2024 season they wanted to land a fly. That's the truth. Because think about it, when Kellen Moore did get hired, I heard a whole bunch of Cowboys fans, a lot of Charger fans, basically saying that look, he didn't want to get the running backs involved. It took the respect of the offensive line and the longevity of who was here, like the Lane Johnsons and all that, to go into the offense saying that if we're going to run the ball first, and then we're going to expand on passing the ball. That made that offense work. I get it. As far as my question to you about Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni being tethered, I think they would always be tethered. I just think that Nick Sirianni needs to know his position and not dabble into play calling as much. He could be a part of the situational in-game call. But you gotta allow you said, and it was rumored, but it's a fact that every person that did interview for the offensive coordinator position said that the Eagles are giving full autonomy to the offensive coordinator to call the plays and all that. So that's where I'm like, if Jalen Hurts does, I don't think he will. I think that he's coming in with a chip on the shoulder. I heard Saquon Barkley alluded to this last night, and when I was watching John Clark. But I feel like that if Jalen Hurts does not have a good season, I don't think Nick Sirianni get fired, because now if he gives full autonomy to a short million and all that, I feel like that it's a down season for the Eagles, but I think they are bounced back. I think this would be one of those leap years like if we had in like 2021 to 2022 with Shane Steichen. I think that's how it would go. And then if we fell again, now Nick Sirianni job's on the line because we already extended him in 2024. After that season when we won the Super Bowl, we gave him an extension, and then that's where he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna hire my friend," and then we see how that went with Kevin Patullo.
But you even still hear rumors about Nick still being in the room. Like, and I said that on my last live stream. I was like, I hope it's in a room like I'm the head coach. I could go to any room I want. I'm gonna come watch out, check out each room, see how things are developing type situation. But Nick don't need his hand in his office at all. Like, if we're gonna win, it's from him staying the hell away from the offense side of football. Like, he's not good. Like, he gotta realize it. He gotta accept it. He gotta put his ego aside and realize he's not a good play caller. He does not understand offense the way he imagined he did before. And we need fresh blood every year with him.
Right, but as Eagles fans, I'm gonna be realistic at this point. Us as Eagles fans, think about it. We had since Jalen Hurts been a starter, we had 2 years of Shane Steichen. We had 1 year of Brian Johnson. We had 1 year of Kellen Patullo. Kellen Moore. I'm sorry, and then we had 1 year of Kevin Patullo. We can't. So Jalen, we can't keep saying Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts know how to play through any offense. We seen that as a fact. But when can we sit up there and think that Jalen Hurts is not? Do you think that Jalen Hurts is the gift for the curse of the Eagles? Successful offense.
To be honest, it was only a curse for guys like AJ Brown. Because Jalen's what you want as a quarterback. He doesn't care about stats. He doesn't care about highlights. He cares about wins. And my quarterback needs to win football games. That's what to me makes a great quarterback. You know, they look at Tom Brady, they're like, Tom Brady's to go. I'm like, really? Because last I checked, it was Joe Montana. Joe Montana's been in 6 Super Bowls and never lost one. Okay? Tom Brady's lost plenty of Super Bowls. You know? Like, we beat him. The Giants beat him. Like, he lost the big game a lot of time. Now, the fact that you're on a team that kept making it there with a good head coach, that's one thing. Montana had both the head coach and the winning pedigree. He's never lost a Super Bowl. To me, Montana's the best quarterback of all time. Forever will be. Because he never lost in the biggest game moment. And that's what makes Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has never had a down game in the biggest game of the year. He's been there twice. He's won one. But both of them he's dominated. That's what makes legends, dude. That would make great players. Like Jalen's got a couple more of these in him easily. I knew when we drafted him, like that's why I always like I think about this ego content creation thing. And I remember telling everybody, like, everybody's mad. Jalen Hurts. Like all of them, all the big guys were mad. We drafted Jalen Hurts. We had Carson Wentz. And I was never mad about that situation. Jalen Hurts comes from winners. I knew that if we drafted him, he's going to win football games. Something that we haven't did consistently in years. We've had guys like Donovan McNabb to put the big numbers up. We've had numbers guys. Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb. You know? We've had those big number guys. We've never had guys to consistently win. Consistently get us in a championship game. He's only been in the 5 years 2 times. Come on. Most likely be there this year. If he does, 3. You know what I'm saying? 3 and 2. That's not normal in the NFL. Winners are winners. You know, I don't give a damn my quarterback throw for 112 yards. Because even in those games where they like to slight Jalen on, in those games, if you look at those minimum yards, those 112 yards, when were they put out there in clutch situations? When we needed it, when we had to score, when we had to get a first down, when we had to move the chains. Like those crucial moments of when the plays came to get to that total. So it wasn't like he was just like trash all game and they were just like some pickup yards here or there. The games he didn't perform well, all those yards came from straight backbone gameplay, game winning plays, game winning drives, game winning situations, game winning way. I sucked all fucking game long. But guess what? I'm still about to win this football game. And that's what his model's been this whole time. Like he's been the same cat for 5 years. That's rare. He gets the same cat for 5 years. And his best football is ahead of him. What is he, 25 years old? 26?
26.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to be 27 on the 7th.
You know?
My son's birthday. Yeah.
But the dude's young. And he has a lot more time to play. And he's hanging out with the right people. You only see him around Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Michael Jordan. Like the best of the best of the best of what they did.
Okay.
Greats hang out with greats. Period. You wouldn't see Tom Brady sticking his neck out for Jalen Hurts like that if he wasn't the man. You wouldn't see Michael Jordan sticking his neck out for Jalen Hurts if he wasn't a man. Everybody see it. It's just the media makes cloudy decisions from Eagles fans. You know, they're there to shake up Eagles fans to make you doubt. We've seen this before. Donovan out. We've seen this before. Carson Wentz. We've seen this before. But it's not before. It's now. And now it's her season.
I think this, right? I think that and Jigga get on my nerves, man, because we kind of think alike, but he likes to troll. Because a lot of people, what you just said about Jalen Hurts, about the biggest game and all that, they try to, even when I bring it up, they say Trent Dilfer, they say who else had a good defense? They said that basically in 2024 we had a good defense. We had a couple turnovers on Pat, the big sack of Jalen Carter, and all that. This is what made the Eagles win because they couldn't do anything on offense. What do you say to people that compares Jalen Hurts' performance to like a Trent Dilfer's when he was with I think the Bucks and Jonathan Gannon with the Raiders or
I
anything
say
like that?
consistency. Jalen's made the playoffs every single year. Every year. His floor is wild card. His ceiling MVP. Super Bowl MVP. Like those other cats you try to name, the Gannons, the Trent Dilfers, the Joe Flaccos. Those are like one-hit wonders. Jalen do it every year. You know, Dilfer wasn't in the year 5 straight years. Flacco wasn't in the Pro Bowl in the playoffs 5 straight years. None of these other quarterbacks you try to say that about were in the playoffs 5 straight years. You know, like you gotta make it there to be considered. That's what I say about Jalen Hurts and what he's done. Is like you literally cannot find quarterbacks that's done what he's done in the period that he's done it in. You can say there's a couple other quarterbacks that might be a little bit better, but it's only because they've been in the league for longer to build that repertoire. Like where he's at in his freaking time period he's the best to ever do it. Nobody else got those numbers. Nobody. The best that ever do it. And that's why I always was like, whatever you want to say, like, you think your guy's better, cool, whatever. Like, my guy has done things that none of your quarterbacks could say they done.
Right.
Period. And he's going to continue to do it. And that's why I said he might not be the greatest quarterback in the league, like globally. But I promise you, when it's all over, they're going to be saying Jay Hurst is the best quarterback in the league.
So he's going like think about it. If he wins another one, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on your platform. When he wins another one, right?
Right.
He's going to be arguably in the Hall of Fame and all that. I get it, but at the same time, like I got him in the top 5. I do have him in the top 5 of right now. You know what I'm saying? You got to put him in there. I understand the whole logic.
Hold on 1 second, DB. Keep going. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Take your time. So I do understand the logic of Jalen Hurts being criticized and everything like that, but I do think with the accolades and all that, the winning, he's top 5. When you go by stats and all that, yeah, he's not going to get you the gaudy stats. He's not going to give you all that. He's going to win the ball game for you, right? As Jigga always argue, his argument is always Jalen Hurts being consistent. It's always been that from day one. And I agree. I think that he needs to be consistent. A lot of people that's coming on my channel and seeing me for the first time, they feel like that I'm not critical on on Jalen Hurts, basically to the point where Jalen Hurts don't need any criticism. I criticize him all the time within the game. Hey, what made you do that throw? And then I double back, go into all 22. Okay, he made that throw because this part of the offensive line collapsed, or this play called for him just to stare down AJ Brown and all that. This is the only reason why, besides the offensive line coming back healthy than what they are, and that we get to see that more starting tomorrow, is because now you don't have somebody down your throat basically saying that I need the ball in my hands. I need to do this and I need to do that. You know, you got to be able to spread out the ball when you can. And now you got Dallas Goedert, Dontavia Wicks, Smitty, you got Mekhi Lemon, you got Eli Stowers, you got Saquon Barkley, you got Tank Bigsby in the backfield. You got to get everybody involved, including yourself. So, when it all said and done, I think that Jalen Hurts ranked at 17th in quarterback ranking as of last season, and then 56 in the top 100 NFL players. I feel like that is very disrespectful to Jalen Hurts. I think that Jalen Hurts last season had a better season than he did in 2024 when we won it. Think about it. He had 2,900, little over 2,900 yards passing, touchdowns and everything like that. Last season he had 3,200. If it wasn't for lackadaisical route running, pass drops and everything like that, and lackadaisical offensive play calling, he could have easily cracked the 4,000 mark. He could have easily did that, right? So that's why when people say, look at his numbers, look at this, look at that, I'm like, okay, well, did you see every single game? Did you pinpoint, hey, when AJ Brown dropped this pass, or when Smitty even dropped passes? Certain play calls called for trying to get behind the numbers, behind the sticks, where we're trying to run it with Saquon Barkley, and now we're third and long. And so that's what I'm saying. Situational play calling, and play calling plays a major factor in the success of the quarterback that's don't have that autonomy at the line like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady or so forth, to be like, okay, well, I'm changing up the play to this. He did that a couple times, and that's when Sirianni was like, yo, I got it. And that's why I respect him. It was like, hey, that was a Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown situation, or that, we didn't call that play. They changed the play up at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? But I do get the logic when people say that Jalen Hurts has to be more consistent in certain things. I do get that, but I feel like with the right play calling, the right QB coach, because that matters as well. With that combined, I think that Jalen Hurts could be consistent, man. And and what got me on that is the evolve when he evolved from 2021 to 2022. That's what's like, yo, he had the same coordinator, same QB coach, and all that. Yes, I feel like that he could actually improved from the last couple seasons until this season, especially now he don't have that egotistical wide receiver that's saying I need the ball and he's force feeding them, and we're sitting up and yelling at our screens like, why are you keep force feeding him? Spread the ball out. Now you got that, and now I feel like I'm betting the house money on Jalen Hurts to be able to have a successful season.
MVP, man. I feel like MVP. I feel like this is the year. This is 2024, but with the MVP and with the Super Bowl MVP. You're gonna get. Well,
I
no,
don't
no, 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 no. This is
honestly,
not 2024. Just 2022. Jalen Hurts gonna be that this year.
I don't need Jalen Hurts to win an MVP. I need Jalen Hurts to go out there and just play like the Jalen Hurts I know he could play like, me and you both. And I feel like that, no limitations with play calling or anything like that. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is not the same guy he was in 2021, 2022. He is right now in 2026. He needs to play to the standard that we know that he could play at. I feel like when it comes to guys that's saying he needs to be consistent in the things that we already seen him do, I think that we're saying the same song. It's just a simple fact that now it's on Jalen Hurts, because I feel like at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts is going to go get that extension. He's going to get that extension, and of course, he's going to look out for Smitty to be that number one wide receiver. So, with that being said, Jalen Hurts has to have a masterful season this year. I don't give a damn if it's only 3,500 yards.
Right.
If he has 10 rushing touchdowns, he has
The only player
20,
with over 100 touchdowns and less than, what was it, 52 or 50 interceptions. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All this stuff's just like historic. Like, if you get still a Jalen Hurts hater out there this year, like you need to just kill yourself.
I don't look at.
Like,
I don't look at. I don't.
you're
I don't look
tripping.
at.
Like you don't know football. You don't know winning percentage. You don't know nothing about like what it takes to be a winner. Like you're stuck in loser mode. Cause like
See, I don't look at. I don't look at. I don't
it
look at it
years
as
ago.
a Jalen Hurts haters. I don't look at Jalen Hurts hater if you're saying that you want him to be consistent. I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it as.
But the consistency they act like all the other quarterbacks that they think are better than him are, and none of them are. Last year, most inconsistent top quarterback year ever. Lamar was inconsistent. Josh was inconsistent. Burrow was inconsistent. Patty was inconsistent. But no one else gets the hate like Jalen. So that's why I say consistency means nothing. Like the dude's been consistent enough. Like everybody act like there's a quarterback that goes through the year perfectly. There's never. I don't care who your favorite quarterback is. Rough games, rough parts of the season, rough season in general. Like that's just part of football. Like you're never gonna get a perfect season. You keep looking for it from our quarterback, but you don't look for nobody else. And that's not fair and not right. And as long as you're just looking at it that way, I'm keep telling you that Jalen's the best. Because consistency aside, he wins football games.
He does, but at the same time, to combat that a little bit, we expect for him to play a lot better consistently. That's all we're saying.
But we were
we
expecting
expect
him to play that way last year with a shitty offensive line and a shitty offensive coordinator. And he still won 11 games.
he didn't win 11 games. The Eagles
Yeah.
won 11 games.
And there's a lot of games where even with his low stats, it was him that won those games.
He won the game when he had a perfect passer rating. He won the game in the second half of the Rams game. This is the games that comes to mind last season. But defense shows up. You know,
our defense wasn't even as good as everybody gave them praise for last year.
No, they weren't the best, but at the same time, that's because of the hinderness of the offense. They put them in certain situations that they couldn't get out of. Think about it. We wouldn't have lost in the wild card round if it wasn't for the offense. And then when we
games too last year, where the offense didn't play very well, but at the end of the game got us the lead and defense couldn't hold it.
Like what games?
Something. We have to go through all the losses. I mean, I really remember last year like that. But I remember there was games that Jalen scored, defense gave a touchdown. Like the Seattle game. I don't know if that was last year or the year before. See, they're mixed up. But I'm just saying that there's been plenty of games where Jalen scored and the defense gave up a touchdown at the end of the game. The reason why we lost. It's like more of those than Jalen actually lose.
So
Jalen doesn't. My point basically saying is Jalen don't really lose football games. Either we were getting our ass kicked and we were just not playing good that day. They're very. I don't know if you can really think of any games that the defense did their job and Jalen Hurts lost the football game. And you can say that about.
We lost to Denver last year. So Denver, the Giants on that Thursday night that I keep getting reminded about.
The Giants kicked their ass.
No, it was a short week, and then we ended up with Adoree Jackson and Kelly Ringo at corner. Then we lost to Dallas in week 11. Week 12, we lost to Chicago. We took 3 straight L's and we lost to the Chargers. And then the last game, we lost to Washington.
But none of those were Jalen Hurts' fault.
So you mean to tell me, because what I recall is, Jackson Dart, the Giants, on that Thursday night, they kicked our ass, but then Jalen Hurts did throw. No, listen, Jalen Hurts did throw a crucial interception. We were about in scoring range, and he threw a crucial interception.
He threw an interception at the end of the game, yet. They whooped the ass.
No, they did.
That game was not even fun to watch.
They did that. No, that was their Super Bowl, because all Giants fans I talk to, they always say, "Oh, they know about Jackson Dart, they know about Scatterboo, they know about this and that and the third."
And that's why I got them the second best team in the division this year. I think they jump up to number 2 for sure.
I just want them to win week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I don't give a damn what happens. Beneath us, I just need us to win the division this year.
3 times in a row, baby. It's gonna be nice, man. We're gonna do it too. I have full faith that we will. You know, I'm in an area, and I think that I will be going down the Broad Street Parade this year. You know, I missed it the first time.
You're saying the parade? That's crazy.
I'm gonna be there this year for the parade. It's a wrap, dude. It's over.
I was there the last 2, and I missed this open practice coming up, but I'm going to this open practice.
Well, let's get some content now. Too, also, if you close to the stadium too, like I live close to the stadium, I want to do more work like tours down at the stadium. Like, you know, being there. So like hit me up whenever you're free in the daytime or whatnot. Cause like today I went there and got some good footage, and there was literally nobody else there. And I was just there.
No. Especially if they know it's about to be a storm or something, there ain't gonna be nobody there.
No, I was like hiding out on the back skirts, like filming shit until the guy came up on his little go-kart. Like, you know you're not supposed to be doing this. I'm like, okay. They get you for this. I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really care what you're talking about. Like, if you're not taking my phone, I still got the footage that I got. So, but hey, man, it's 3 hours. I gotta get some dinner, man. It was awesome tonight. Thanks for jumping on the show tonight, my
No
guy.
problem. No problem, man. Anytime.
And we definitely get you on some more, man. Like, we definitely need to do some work this year. I know I saw in the verse section about the whole little thing he got going on. I know you're in there too, so you guys will see a lot of us this year. We're gonna do some things, and I got a lot of big plans coming up for season 2 as well. So let's keep in touch. Let's keep doing our things. Let's end it off with the final word of the night. What are you telling Eagles fans?
Man,
First
look,
down.
man. Tuesday. No. Today is Tuesday. Wednesday, we're on the field. I don't know if it's gonna. I think it's gonna be more in the bubble. I don't think they're gonna be outside on the field at Jefferson Health Training Facility now. I don't think it's gonna be that. I think it's gonna be more indoors. So stay tuned for videos from me about what's going on in training camp. Who's there? The first in 2026. The first injury report that's going to possibly be put out. I know that we probably going to be, even before training camp, we probably going to have a press conference from Jalen Carter about the big payout and what he's looking to do and all that. So stay tuned for all that. But as always, fly Eagles, fly go birds. King DV signing out.
Peace. And y'all know how we do. Fly, Eagles, fly. Till next time, BG, we out. Peace. Let's see. I'm going to get my internet fixed, guys. Don't worry about it.